Only about 60 miles separate Lexington and Louisville. Wildcat fans come in packs to Papa John's Cardinal Stadium as one of the more unheralded yet intense rivalries is renewed here today. Kentucky is 4-1 lifetime in Louisville, but the Cardinals have dominated the series of late, winning 4 of the last 5 overall. The battle for the Governor's Cup is next.
It's that day!
Welcome back on campus at the University of Louisville, where today the Cardinals take on intrastate rival Kentucky. Louisville won 9 games in 2003. Kentucky won just 4 and had a 1-7 record in the SEC. 10th time in 11 years that these two schools have opened up against one another. Hi everybody, I'm Dave Pash. In 2002, Kentucky essentially ruined Louisville's season. The Cardinals were a preseason top 20 team. They were even talking BCS. But Kentucky came to Louisville, knocked off the Cardinals 22-17, and Louisville finished that year 7-6. But Rod Gilmore, last year Louisville got revenge and turned up the intensity on this rivalry.
I'll tell you this, Louisville knows how to pour gasoline on a fire. Let's go back to last season and take a look at what happened in this ball game. It was the 4th quarter. Louisville was dominating, physically pushing Kentucky all over the field, up by 9, running out the clock. So you take a knee and in the game, right? Well, they don't do it on 4th down. They get inside the 5-yard line, and instead of taking a knee to end the game, they give Lionel Gates the ball. And what's he do? He gets a touchdown. Oh, did that tick off Kentucky? No doubt. They are laying for that. They are prepared for it. They wanted their own payback today.
And that rivalry has a lot of heat to it because of games like that and accusations of running up the score like that. But it actually goes much deeper for the programs. They compete in recruiting for the best Kentucky high school players. 4 of the last 5 high school Kentuckians crowned Mr. Football in this state have gone to the University of Louisville. Interestingly, Louisville has won 4 of the 5 last game against Kentucky. And so this is huge, not just for the heat, but for the future of these programs.
Certainly, Trevor, the team that wins this game earns more than just bragging rights for 1 year. Kentucky has won 2 of the last 3 games in Louisville, with the lone loss coming in overtime. Can the Cats do it again, or is this one for the Birds? Who will hoist the Governor's Cup in 2004? We find out next.
ESPN's College Football Sunday, brought to you by Bacardi Silver Lyman Premium Malt Beverage. Flavor your night.
Louisville and Kentucky getting ready to do battle here. First, though, let's check in with the 4th member of our crew. Let's go down to the sideline, and Dave Ryan.
Hi, Dave. Thanks so much. Louisville in this game has 2 very distinct weapons. One is special, one is unique. Let's start with unique and Michael Bush, the sophomore running back, at 6'3", 240 pounds. But the question is he just a running back? He played 5 different positions in preseason camp, 3 on offense, 2 on defense. Coach Bobby Petrino says he'll play up to 15 snaps on the defensive side of the ball. And then there's special, the all-world quarterback recruit, Brian Brom. His 2 older brothers were stars here. His dad, Oscar, was a quarterback here. He should play in this game as well. Guys, keep these numbers in mind for Brian Brom. 119 touchdown passes as a high school quarterback, 3 state titles, 1 National Player of the Year honor. The Brian Brom era starts today.
Brom will not start this game. That will be quarterback Stephon LaFour as a first-team All-Conference USA, Dave. But Brom will see action, although head coach Bobby Petrino would not tell us in our meetings yesterday when Brom will play, only that he will play today. About 86 degrees humidity is about 70%. I'm sure Dave will be keeping track on the field of the temperature. It's expected to feel like about 100, 105 on the field. Clint Ruth will boot it away for Kentucky. Roderick Clark and Lionel Gates to receive. And we're underway from Papa John's Stadium. It'll be Broderick Clark, one of the top return men in the country 2 years ago, was hurt by a hamstring most of last year, and he's taken down right around the 20-yard line by John Sumrall. Stephon LaFour has replaced Dave Ragone last year and led the Conference USA in total offense. Threw for the 3rd highest yard total in school history, rushed for over 400 yards, the most ever by a Cardinal quarterback. First down from the Louisville 20-yard line. Eric Shelton is the running back. He rushed for over 150 yards in the season opener against Kentucky last year, but going to the air is LaFors. It's complete to his leading receiver, J.R. Russell, and he has the first down, a gain of about 12 to the 32-yard line. Let's take a look at the skill players for Louisville. A full arsenal, including Russell.
Well, move over Mark Clayton, Deion Branch, because that man you just saw catch the ball can run after the catch and may wind up being the best receiver at Louisville.
As we talked about earlier, we'll see three running backs. Shelton, who's 247 pounds. Gates is 225. Bush at 240. Russell at 1,213 yards last year. He's caught a pass in 23 straight games. First down from the Louisville 32. This is Shelton. Makes a man miss. And then finally tackled at the 36. Gain of about 4 on the play. The Louisville offensive line is big, but it's also very athletic.
Well, the Wildcats of the SEC are going to face probably the best line they'll face all season long, and they'll need Sweet Pea Burns, their best football player, to be healthy. He might only play about 20 plays, but boy, they'd better count against this offensive line.
Burns had 18 tackles for a loss last year, the most in the Southeast Conference. Second down and 6, and an empty backfield. 5 wide for LaFors. LaFors, with tons of time, has a man wide open. Joshua Tinch down inside the 30-yard line. 34-yard pickup.
LaFors does a nice job of looking everyone off to the left side of the field. He had his choice of receivers in that soft zone that time. You see Booker 10 was underneath the ball. He was supposed to be deeper.
What made that work was protection. There was no help for the offensive line. They blocked one-on-one to allow the freedom to get open.
Michael Bush is into the game now at tailback, and he gets it. Sweeping, and then try to cut it back inside. It picks up 2 or 3 to the 28-yard line. Linebacking core for Kentucky, a little bit banged up, as is the secondary for Rich Brooks' team.
Well, and that's going to be an issue. You saw that long ball. Keep your eye on Booker, number 10. He's inexperienced, and he's going to have to deal with some pretty good receivers.
Muhammad Abdullah, a second-team All-SEC member last year, had 4 interceptions, but all those came in the first 5 games. Second and 8 for Louisville from the Kentucky 28-yard line. They go in shotgun. Inside running play, Lionel Gates to the outside 20. And finally cracked out of bounds inside the 10. An 18-yard run by Lionel Gates. Carl Booker on the tackle.
Travis LeFew, left tackle, came across and threw a terrific block. Watch him come across it. He won't do a terrific drive block, but he gets just enough of his man to slow him down and allow Gates to get that corner.
And this is a read play. You saw LeFew check out that side, and then Gates gets to the outside. Once LaFleur makes that read as to the outside, he allows him to make that decision to go outside himself.
First down and goal at the Kentucky 9. Rich Brooks told us this week, best part of their team is their defense. Not a good start here for UK. But this is an excellent play in the backfield as Gates is ripped down by Ellery Moore, starting defensive end.
Well, penetration is how you stop great running backs. And you see Ellery Moore, number 98, get through. He splits a double team and stops the back before he has a chance to make his cut. If Kentucky has any hope at all of stopping this three-headed monster of great running backs, it's by getting that kind of penetration.
Moore had a couple of sacks last year. That tackle for loss of 4 yards, and it's second and goal now from the 13, and then the shotgun is LaFleur. Remember, LaFleur is a danger to run the football as well. Here he goes to the air, and it's caught by Montrell Jones at the 6-yard line. Jones, a transfer from Tennessee, but is a Louisville native. At 22 catches as a freshman for the Volunteers 2 years ago. Carl Booker on the tackle.
You know, we talked about this rivalry. Well, Montrell Jones, 86, caught that ball. He's part of the rivalry. He's a guy from this area, Mr. Football back in 2000, and there are quite a few of those guys on the Louisville team.
A lot of guys on Kentucky that are from Louisville, including wide receiver Keenan Burton, who's a star. We'll see him when Kentucky gets the football. Third down and goal from the 6. Big play here for the Kentucky defense. LaFour's rolling out. Again with tons of time, takes off. Dives to the goal line. No signal yet. He's going to be down just shy of the goal line. It'll bring up 4th down and inches. What do you do, guys?
Well, all receivers are covered, and this is one of the advantages of having a senior like Stephon LaFour's. He sees everybody covered, and actually, we didn't expect that. You don't expect Kentucky to be able to do this. LaFour's didn't either. So he pulls it down and runs rather than makes a risky throw and risks an interception.
And they go for it on 4th down because they've been pushing them around on the field. They got over 200 yards rushing against them last year. They should be confident in their ability to run the ball.
And Gates and Shelton are in the backfield together. Shelton is the up back on 4th down and goal. Gates did not get in. Great stand by the Kentucky defense. Brad Booker and Sweet Pea Burns team up to take care of Louisville on the goal line.
Well, that's the penetration we talked about. Sweet Pea Burns, number 98, led the SEC last year with 18 tackles for a loss. And he teams up to help make this happen.
Now watch Booker get up there. Look at that. That's a linebacker stuffing it on the goal line. He's reading the back, flying right in, matching his movement with the back's movement and catching him at the highest point.
He lost yardage on that play.
That is huge for Kentucky. Huge to get that stop.
But quarterback Shane Boyd has to start on his half-yard line. Boyd changing the play. Still plenty of time on the play clock. It's at 11. Boyd. Keenan Burton with a catch and gives Kentucky some breathing room. Gain of about 6 or 7 yards. Well, Kentucky lost 4 of its 6 offensive linemen last season, but there's another 300-pounder missing. Jarrett Lorenzen's career as quarterback at Kentucky is over. It's Shane Boyd's team now.
The big fella. How big was Jarrett Lorenzen?
Well, you know, he stood next to the Empire State Building, and King Kong climbed him.
He was listed at 285, but come on, tack on about 10 or 15, maybe more. 2nd down and 3 at the Kentucky 8. Kentucky goes with 3 wide. And Boyd has to call for time. So a great stop by Kentucky's defense keeps this game scoreless. 5 minutes gone by in the opening quarter from Louisville.
The Kia Sedona with a 5-star safety rating. More safety features, more sanity. Welcome to more. The Kia Sedona.
Sorry, I was driving too fast.
No, my fault.
You must be gelling.
Like Magellan.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are so soft, they make any shoe feel outrageously comfortable. Are you gelling? Dr. Scholl's.
From Philips comes the only flat TV with built-in ambient light technology, which changes color with whatever you're watching. So you are completely surrounded by the experience. The new Philips Flat TV with Ambilight.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
Big breakfast burritos. Sonic's got them, others don't. Start your day right with Sonic's hearty new steak, egg, and cheese burrito. Steak, eggs, diced onions, tater tots, and melted cheese, all wrapped in a big flour tortilla. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Coming to DVD.
Took everything from me. The man must die.
This is not revenge.
It's punishment.
Tom J. John Travolta.
Call me the Punisher.
Available September 7th.
The Kia Sorento with a 5-star side impact safety rating. More side impact protection, more self-preservation. Welcome to more the Kia Sorento.
Back in Louisville, the Cardinals drive down the field only to get stoned on the half-yard line. Let's look at the backs and receivers for Kentucky.
Keep in mind, J.R. Russell, good on the other side, but Marcus Jones is a guy up front that is almost as fast as J.R. Russell is for Louisville.
Keenan Burton, a sophomore from Louisville, was not recruited by Louisville. Well, it's a great rivalry game, and the Louisville fans were more into it when Louisville came on defense after they got stuck on the half-yard line. 2nd down and 3 inside the Kentucky 10. Arliss Beach on the call, nowhere to go. Stacked up, minimal gain on the play. Elvis Dumerville and Marcus Jones on the tackle for Louisville. The offensive line for Kentucky features 2 sophomores and a junior, and man in the middle, center Matt McCutcheon, is making his first ever start.
We mentioned Marcus Jones a moment ago. You saw the line had trouble with him on that last play. He's a quick guy, but he's also tough inside.
And this offensive line for Kentucky has the most pressure on it of all the groups on the field today. Very young, very untested.
Also undersized. 3rd down and 2 after the 1-yard gain. Louisville fans make it hard on Boyd to get the signals to his receivers and linemen. It's an option, and Beach makes a man miss and gets the necessary yardage for the 1st down. Should have been taken down in the backfield, but a nice move, picks up 5 yards. William Gay makes the tackle. Look at the linebackers and the DBs for Louisville. They've got some guys who can run at linebacker.
Robert McCune, middle linebacker, 240-pounder, about as fast as a wide receiver. He just laid a massive lick on Shade Boyd on that last option. Boyd is going to think twice next time he runs that option.
Kerry Rhodes, the free safety, a big kid, 6'3", 315, will also play some corner, some man coverage on Kentucky's best receiver, Keenan Burton. You can see the Louisville secondary not even in the picture. We do expect a lot of press coverage from those guys today, and here's a pass that sails way over the head of the intended receiver, Glenn Holt.
Dave, you mentioned press coverage. Before we talk about that, we almost had a score before you went back to the goal line situation. You asked me if I thought that LaForce had gotten in there. Did you think so?
It was close. Let's see if the ball crosses the plane before the knee goes down.
I don't think he's close. I think that knee is down, and then the momentum carries him into the end zone.
The momentum carries him in, but he takes a hit there on the ground and on that tackle, and those will start to add up.
Beach in the backfield on 2nd and 10, and he gets it straight on. And he is leveled by the middle linebacker, Robert McCune, who is 6 feet tall, 245 pounds. We talked about his speed earlier. He's 25 years old, led the team in tackles last year.
Well, McCune is going to come from the left of your screen and come in and just drill Arliss Beach right there. Big hit. Now, this is one of the key matchups in this game because you could see McCune keyed in on one man, and that's Beach. The reason for that, if they can stop him, it puts the responsibility to move the offense on to Boyd, the quarterback.
3rd down and 7, Kentucky without one of its starting receivers. Glenn Holt had to leave the game for the moment with an apparent arm injury. We'll tell you more later. 3rd down and 7. Midway through the 1st quarter. Here's Boyd. And he's got Burton. Did he hang on to it on the sideline? Yes, he did. It's a catch. Very close to the marker at the 24.
And this is huge for Boyd. Last year, his early passes, his first pass was picked off. Ron Hudson, their offensive coordinator, wanted to get him comfortable. A nice out, well-thrown ball. They get something out of it.
And he goes to his playmaker. Keenan Burton is the best receiver on this team, and he's the one that's got the best rapport with Boyd so far in fall. And so Boyd knows that being a first-year starter himself, he needs to go to his players that are the best at making plays.
Now, keep in mind that Boyd struggled when he started against Kentucky, as you mentioned before, Dave. And Louisville wants to force Boyd to beat them. They know he's an excellent runner. They don't want him on the edge. They want him throwing the football.
Kentucky is going to be short and will have to punt the ball. Boyd's numbers from last year, not very good, but again, didn't play much. Threw only 1 pass in the game at Louisville, and that was an interception that changed momentum in that game.
And plus, last year was the first year in a new offense. And this is the second year with this offense with Rich Brooks and his crew. And now he feels much more comfortable with knowing where that ball should go.
So 4th and inches, Anthony Thornton will boot it away.
He's going to get a chance to throw it. They're going to make him throw it a lot.
Yep. It'll have to wait as Louisville and its potent offense should get the football. Montrell Jones back to receive the punt. And it's a fake, and Kentucky has the first down. How about that call, guys?
Are you kidding me?
Scott Mitchell, a junior college transfer. Actually, that's Marcus McClinton. Kentucky has 2 players wearing number 2. McClinton sneaks it for the first down and 4th and inches.
Well, there you see, right there in the center. He walks up there and is under center. Nobody reacted to it.
Well, that's normal for the personal protector to go up in a loud stadium to make the calls, but normally he goes back 4 yards, and then they snap it to the punter.
He doesn't put his hands under the center.
That was very sneaky.
So first down to the Kentucky 28. I said Boyd was going to have to wait. He didn't have to wait very long. Here's Drake Davis, and Louisville strings that out. Gain of 3 or 4 on the play. Rich Brooks in his second year at the helm at Kentucky. The National Coach of the Year 10 years ago when he was at Oregon. Spent a couple of years as head coach of the Rams, also a defensive coordinator in the NFL with Atlanta.
He did a great job at Oregon for all those years and laid the foundation for Mike Velotti's team.
Here's Bobby Petrino, his second year at Louisville. Most wins ever by a first-year Louisville coach in 2003. Change in the play is Boyd, 2nd and 7 at the UK 31. Flag down, no play. 0 on the play clock. Somebody may have moved as well. Dick Honig, our referee.
Ball starts. Number 19 on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat, second down.
That's the wide receiver Keenan Burton. One of the new changes in officiating this year. They're going to call out the number of the guy who is the guilty party. You guys like that?
That bothered me. I wasn't a lineman or a defensive lineman.
And I never got called for any penalty my entire college career.
Oh, yeah, never held. You hold coming into the booth.
No comment.
Trevor was telling us at dinner last night that linemen hold on every play. Now he's saying that he never gets called for holding. 2nd and 12 at the 26. Play fake. And Boyd steps up and takes off at the 30. And out near the 37-yard line, a gain of about 11. Bring up 3rd down and short.
Well, how would you like to be 300 pounds and only 17 years old and in your sophomore year? Sometimes you got a lot to learn. Watch Mole Okoye as he gets a good push and he has a shot at Boyd, but he gets too far up the field. He's a young man who last year was only 16 years old as a freshman, Trevor.
And look at his body. He looks to me like he started shaving before I was even born.
He was born in Nigeria, tested into the 9th grade when he was 12 years old. 3rd down and 1. Handoff to Beach. Not going to get it. Ankle tackled by Bobby LeFew in the backfield. And boy, are the Louisville coaches glad to see LeFew healthy. He's had some knee problems. It's a 2-yard loss. Kentucky will punt.
Bobby LeFew is turning it around on Kentucky. He'll come from the left of your screen and jet right in and make this tackle. When you make it in the backfield, the back has nowhere to cut. That's the only way to stop it when it's 3rd and that short.
I give a little credit to Marcus Jones, though, as he was slanting inside and he took away that alley so that the running back had to go outside further.
Thornton on to punt, at least we think. Back at the 21. 4th and 2. Montrell Jones at the 22 to receive. Good kick by Thornton. And fair caught at the 16-yard line by Montrell Jones. 49-yard punt by senior from Louisville, Anthony Thornton. No score. 4.5 to play in the first. Back to Louisville in a moment.
Happy birthday, ESPN. Without SportsCenter, without Dick Vitale, without Dan Patrick, sports wouldn't be the same. So happy birthday, and let's look forward to 25 more years.
That is sweet.
My pride and joy.
Oh, it looks new.
Like right out of the showroom.
Oh, that is one great looking...
Whoa, hold on, honey. I'm showing Tom the floor. Nice floor, Joan.
Make your garage floor the envy of the neighborhood. You can do it yourself with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield Garage Floor Coating. After prep, you're ready to go. Simple as painting a wall. Easy to clean and resists chipping and peeling. This all-inclusive kit is available at home centers, hardware stores, and automotive retailers near you. And now, transform your unfinished basement with Epoxy Shield Basement Floor Coating.
The Kia Sorento with a 3.5-liter V6. More power, more chivalry. Welcome to more. The Kia Sorento.
Bacardi Silver Premium Malt Beverages. 5% alcohol by volume. 4 flavors to share with friends and those about to be. Flavor your night.
The Kia Sedona with a 5-star safety rating. More safety features, more sanity. Welcome to more. The Kia Sedona.
ESPN's College Football Sunday is presented by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield for the ultimate garage floor. And in part by Kia Motors. Kia, make every mile count.
They love horse racing here in Kentucky, and they're starting more and more to love their football as Michael Bush takes the inside handoff past the 20 for about 5 yards. Let's go back to the studio and check in with Reese Davis.
Well, guys, Taylor Stubblefield is probably going to set the Big Ten record for career receptions, but he only scored 6 touchdowns before this. This is his 7th career touchdown, 2 of them coming today. Kyle Orton hitting him there, Purdue blowing out Syracuse.
And Syracuse starting a true freshman this year at quarterback. Orton, a veteran at Purdue. 2nd down and 5 for Louisville. Quarterback Stefan LaForge. And in the backfield, they've got Gates and Shelton together, and Gates will get the football. Trying to sprint to the outside, cut it back, and got maybe 2. So they'll bring up 3rd down and short. Tonight, 2 teams hoping for a spot in Major League Baseball's postseason meet is Omar Vizquel and the Cleveland Indians. Welcome Vlad Guerrero and the Angels to Jacobs Field. It's at 8 Eastern tonight on ESPN2. Coverage begins with Baseball Tonight, driven by GMC on ESPN at 7 Eastern.
Okay, those Angels, they're not dead yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, man.
Well, when you've got the rally monkey, you've always got hope.
3rd down and 3 for LaForge. Louisville doubling up Kentucky in total yards with no score in the game. Here's LaForge. And the pass is broken up at the 29-yard line. Russell was the intended receiver. Irvin Flowers, who was banged up this week with a quad injury, broke up the pass.
Flowers was reading LaFleur's eyes. He's going to see the receiver come in, and he's going to wait until the ball's thrown. Now he's just going to wait, and now he's going to come in. He reads the quarterback's eyes, and that's why he's able to break up that pass.
That's perfect. When you have a quarterback with no backs in the backfield, 3-step action, you don't need to wait. He's got to get rid of the ball quickly.
Brent Moody to punt for Louisville. Drake Davis standing at his 32 to receive the kick. And we've got a whistle and a flag down. Going to be against the Cardinals.
False start, 31 on the offense. 5 yards, 4th down.
Yeah, so far, Kentucky has played a cleaner game, and the momentum and the intensity of the rivalry has helped Kentucky more than Louisville.
Well, they've got to be real glad to stop Louisville 3 and out this drive when the first one went all the way down to the 1-yard line. You don't want the idea of here we go again against this high-powered offense.
Moody with an excellent kick, driving Davis inside the 25. Davis up past the 30 and a 32-yard line. Tackled by J.T. Haskins, who just committed a penalty moments ago. Still no score. Under 3 minutes to go. It's a hot and humid day in Louisville.
Sarge national anthem. Written by Francis Scott off-key. Get her out of there!
Sonny's coming. Let's move.
Lost premieres Wednesday, September 22nd, only on ABC.
Detective David Starsky did everything by the book.
I said freeze!
Detective Ken Hutchinson never even read it.
You're late. I've been here since 8. 8 o'clock? I didn't know this place opened at 8.
I like your style. I like your moves.
2 legendary cops are teaming up
Goodbye, heroes!
Hang on.
Starsky.
to take on the ultimate bad guy. Starsky and Hutch. Only on DirecTV pay-per-view.
For every boxing legend, there's a legendary fight. The ultimate challenge, the ultimate risk. For these two champions, this is the one. De La Hoya versus Hopkins for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. Saturday, September 18th, live on DirecTV pay-per-view. Don't miss De La Hoya versus Hopkins live on DirecTV pay-per-view channel 101. Only one can make history.
Back in Louisville, Kentucky fans have made about the hour-and-a-half drive to here in Louisville from Lexington. They've got good reason to be excited after a pretty good first series from quarterback Shane Boyd. And guys, here on the field, you really see what kind of presence he's got. As you mentioned, Dave, he didn't start much last year. Jared Lorenzen was their guy, but on the first drive, with his back to the loudest part of the stadium, he audibled correctly, got them in the right play. Very good field presence early. A good sign for Kentucky and Shane Boyd.
Dave, last year, Boyd in the same game had a touchdown passing, touchdown receiving, and touchdown rushing. And here he pitches on the option to Beach, and not much room on the sideline. Kerry Rose, the free safety on the tackle.
Shane Boyd is running the offense that Michael Bishop and L. Roberson ran at Kansas State under Ron Hudson. And that offense could be perfect for him because he's got such great running skills and such a strong arm.
And much better for him than Jared Lorenzen was able to run it last year. Lorenzen, good enough feet to move around Trev Alberts, but not good enough to run this offense to perfection. Boyd is the right athlete.
And the coaches told us that Boyd's arm is as strong as Lorenzen's arm. Boyd also a pitcher drafted twice by the Minnesota Twins. Here Boyd takes off. And he nosedived to the 37, gained about 3 to bring up 3rd down and 5.
So are you jumping on Trev already? You think he's going to fire somebody else? I mean, how many guys did he fire yesterday?
He fired Oklahoma's defensive staff because they didn't look fired up enough for him.
I think Mark helped him. They should fire LSU's Nick Saban. They had a close game too, right?
They had a close game. They also had to fire Mike Riley from Oregon State because they didn't pull it out. I mean, Trev's got everybody fired after the first week.
What are you going to do to the kicker then if you fire all those guys?
Make him the head coach. Nobody left.
3 missed PATs. Got to feel bad for that kid from Oregon State. Boyd to the air and through the hands of the tight end Dobney. Incomplete. 4th down. Pass a little bit high, but probably could have been caught.
But that is the game plan for Louisville. Get Boyd into 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 or more, and let's find out just how accurate a passer he is. And that's going to happen when you only complete 35% of your passes the previous year.
So the game plan for Kentucky, let him do short passes, let him get used to it without falling behind. Let him get acclimated to the speed of this game as the #1 guy. So far, they're in that position.
Anthony Thornton getting a lot of time on the field here in the first half. Montrell Jones steps forward at the 22. And Jones with a decent run back, and he fumbled the ball at the 31, but they're going to say his knee was down. Recovered anyway by Louisville. 8-yard return after a 41-yard kick. College football's first weekend continues on ESPN tonight at 8 Eastern as UNLV takes on Tennessee. Remember what UNLV did early last year to Wisconsin. It's all part of Labor Day weekend presented by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield on ESPN. For more, go to ESPN.com.
Talk about Tennessee. Tennessee almost had the young quarterback here, Brian Brohm.
And there he is, the freshman from Louisville, USA Today National Offensive Player of the Year. And he goes to the air on his first play. And his pass is caught by Russell. Good balance, and Russell finally down at the 35. And 4 yards in the play. Sweet Pea Burns on the tackle. They love this kid, Brian Brohm.
You have to ask yourself, what makes him so special? Well, how about a quick release? The time it took that ball to get out from the time he made up his mind wasn't very long.
No, he's perfect for this offense. This is an actual, honest-to-goodness NFL-style offense that asks the quarterback to make the same kind of reads that he'll have to make if he makes it to the next level. That's one of the reasons that Brohm chose Louisville.
The biggest reason, however, his brother, Jeff Brohm, former NFL quarterback, is the quarterback coach. And Shelton powers to the 48-yard line for a 12-yard gain. Muhammad Abdullah on the tackle. Shelton from Lexington, Kentucky. Transfer from Florida State.
Watch number 23 from the left of your screen, fullback. That's Lionel Gates. He's one of their great tailbacks, lining up at fullback, blocking for his buddy Eric Shelton.
And that didn't happen last year. They couldn't put them in the backfield together because they both wanted to carry the ball. Neither one would block for the other. But you saw that teamwork this night, which could make a good thing happen for them this season.
It gives them a lot more options on the field.
We saw earlier Shelton blocking for Gates, so Gates blocks for Shelton on that play. Time winding down in the opening quarter. And Brohm will not get it off. Well, it looked early, guys, like Louisville might get a couple of touchdowns in the contest in the first quarter, but we are scoreless after one. We'll see what Brian Brohm and the Louisville offense can do when we come back in quarter number 2. We're back on campus, Louisville and Kentucky, in a heated rivalry.
ESPN puts the spotlight on the highlight with ESPN 25 The Book. Available now.
The Kia Sorento with a 5-star side impact safety rating. More side impact protection, more self-preservation. Welcome to more. The Kia Sorento.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Hotwire.com.
Gigs, an unheard of 30 hours of battery life. Introducing the new Sony Network Walkman, like no other.
Like this.
K-Swiss, spin it like this.
Put your spin on it.
Personalize it.
This way. Put your spin on it.
Make them look twice.
My K-Swiss. Put your spin on it.
Color it up.
Dress it up.
Put your spin on
Dress
it.
it down.
Clean and white.
They go with what I wear.
Put your spin on it.
Put your spin on it. K-Swiss.
The Kia Sorento with a 3.5-liter V6. More power, more chivalry. Welcome to more. The Kia Sorento.
True freshman Brian Brohm and a quarterback for Louisville. His brother Greg, the director of football operations at Louisville. His other brother, Jeff, is the quarterback's coach. Spent 7 years in the NFL with 6 different teams as a player. Must be fun to sit in on those meetings. Stephon LaForest just probably plays referee. Here's Brian Brown with time, and then the pressure's on, and he is sacked, thrown down by Raymond Fontaine.
I wonder what big brother quarterback coach is saying on the sideline now, because he can be tough on his little brother. He probably would have liked for him to get rid of this ball.
Well, the scouting book on Brian Brown is that he needs to get rid of the ball a little quicker than he has been so far in fall. And so he dropped back, didn't see anybody open, but I will give the freshman this credit. Rather than force the ball into something he didn't recognize, he pulled it down and ran.
Louisville last year only allowed 13 sacks after giving up 46 2 years ago. There's a screen, and Bush takes what would have been a 7-yard loss and gets maybe a half yard of the play. Ellery Moore made the tackle.
Well, the good news for Bobby Petrino is that if Brown plays well, he'll be developing 2 quarterbacks who can help him out. The bad news is he'll be developing 2 quarterbacks that can help him out, because that's going to create a controversy. Remember Major Applewhite, Chris Sims at Texas? That controversy played out the entire time they were there. And if this guy is that good, it'll happen here too.
You know, I disagree with that, though. You've got a senior in LaForest, a freshman. You've got to get the freshman ready to play, and that's why he's in a big game now. If the senior goes down, you don't want your freshman to come in with no game experience.
I'm not sure I agree with you on that, but I'll follow up.
We'll arm wrestle for it.
Brom on 3rd and 10 finds Clark, who's got some room down the sideline. Upended at the 34, but it's a 14-yard gain and a first down for the Cardinal offense.
That was a very well-thrown ball. You need to put the ball in a receiver's hand so he can run with it without having to change directions. Look at this ball. He gets it right on the numbers, and he goes right up the field.
His brother is real happy about it. Jeff Brom, quarterback coach on the sideline. He can be very hard on his little brother. This time he's very proud of him.
What was it like with Stanford when John Elway came in, Rod?
Well, that's why I have an issue with Trevor here, and I'll follow this play first.
Shelton on the carry. Balls forward to the 26 for about 6 or 7.
Well, in this situation, you have a guy who's an all-conference quarterback who waited his turn to get in here and perform, and he did great. And now you bring in a freshman. I don't have a problem with him playing, but they came in and opened up the job. When I was back at Stanford, we had a 5th-year senior named Turk Schoner, great quarterback. John Elway came in. No doubt John was talented, but Turk Schoner was a better quarterback than John when John was a first-year freshman trying to get on the field. And it can divide fans, and it can hurt a team.
Shelton trying to get outside, can't drop it along the scrimmage by Chad Anderson.
You know what, though, Rod? You're completely daft. The other players want to have the best player on the field, and if it's an open competition, so what? Everybody's got an open competition. I don't get divided when there's an open competition. Okay. I don't care what you did last year. If I'm going to bust my behind running wind sprints, lifting weights, all the things you've got to do to be successful, I want everybody else to compete the same way, so the best guys on the field.
How do you feel about your coach when you're a veteran, an all-conference player, and he comes in and says, I'm opening up your job to a freshman who hasn't been here and hasn't paid the price?
I don't care how you feel. This is the big leagues. If you can't keep your job, you can't keep your job.
Irvin Flowers with a nice play stepping in front there. Sorry, guys, to break up that pass, making it 4th down.
I love you, Rod. I really do. But in this case, boy, I disagree.
Well, that will probably be the only time that happens this year, huh?
Yeah, no, for the next 30 seconds, I think.
Louisville already 0 for 1 on 4th down. Going to go for it 4th down and 3. You're going to have some guys that get bitter. You just hope that those guys aren't your vocal leaders who can start to permeate that to the rest of the team.
It has to be legitimized. The players have to believe that the guy has earned it. You can't just give it to him.
Well, you don't give him competition. Competition happens.
4th and 3, 9th play of the drive. Brom on the rollout, gonna keep. And Brom has the first down inside the 20. Picks up 7 on the play. An intrastate rivalry. Louisville coming off a 9-win season. And the University of Kentucky, we're at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. Kentucky won here 2 years ago when Louisville was a hyped football team. Dave Pash, Rod Gilmore, Trevor Managing, Dave Ryan. Louisville was ranked 17th in the country 2 years ago. They were even talking BCS, but Kentucky beat the Cardinals, and they finished 7-6 that year. A win over Florida State got them above 500. Florida State was a top 5 team as Bush has a hole down 7.5 to about the 13 for 5 or 6. And Louisville last year led the country in yards per carry, just under 6 yards per attempt.
Outstanding offense last season with the left-handed quarterback, who's a senior now. Now, the thing about LaFleur that I want to get back to is that you're talking about a guy who nobody wanted. He had to send out tapes to 15 schools, and only Louisville was interested. And he's had to hold off highly celebrated guys now 2 years in a row. That doesn't make you feel wanted.
Brom hands for Bush. And down the 15-yard line. I'll make that the 10-yard line. But the Lulon tackle going to be very close to the marker.
Well, why are you so concerned about how people feel?
Hey, you got to have a leader on your team, and LaFleur led that offense last year, 35 points a game. He did everything you could ask of a quarterback. And then even before he gets to camp, he's told his job is in jeopardy by a hotshot freshman.
He's not. He's told that the job is in competition. Thank you for your great performance last year. Now, you've got to win it again this year like all other 21 starters.
Louisville's going to have to call time. But guys, if you're Stefan LaForce, even though you're told by your coach that you've got the job, you know it's in the back of his mind, especially when Brian Brom comes into the game and drives the team down the field. 3rd down and 1 for Louisville at the Kentucky 10 when we come back.
Today, we're doing self-portraits, but I want you to paint your soul to liberate your minds. Show me what's inside you. Oh, now that's what I'm talking about.
The restyled new 2005 Jeep Liberty. If it's in you, put it out there.
That's a silverback. You can see the silver right on the back. Oh, great. He's making a call. He's making a peak hour call!
Just hope you're not roaming.
Too many restrictions on your wireless plan?
You want some of this, monkey boy?
Come to T-Mobile and talk whenever, nationwide.
Whenever.
T-Mobile gives you the most whenever minutes. 1,000 for just $39.99.
T-Mobile, get more.
Wrangler 5-star relaxed fit premium quality denim. Wrangler, real comfortable jeans.
Wow, new cherry Pepto. I love cherries.
Now there's a Pepto flavor everyone will love, and that's reason to dance. Look for it today.
Back on campus in Louisville, Kentucky. The Cardinals and the Wildcats are scoreless, but Louisville with a 3rd down and 1 on the Kentucky 10. This is the 12th play of a drive led by true freshman quarterback Brian Brom. Started on their 31. And Brom's going to throw. And he completes it to Gates at the 5-yard line, threw into double coverage, but it still was completed, a 6-yard gain, and a fresh set of downs at the 5.
You can see that the game slows down for him. That's what the coaches told us. He did not get flustered by the pressure here. Watch him keep his composure, and then he makes a nice throw on the run.
You know what I like is that he knows who he's playing against. Number 9, Darrell White, is a linebacker, and that linebacker is the one that had double coverage. The ball sailed right by White's head because he wasn't accustomed to coverage. It was a great job by the quarterback to see that.
We talked about LaFleur's ability to run. Brom showing he has good feet. Pitch to Gates. Touchdown Louisville.
Watch the block. They'll get out that way. Shelton just really goes in and cleans things up out there. And the speed for Gates takes care of the rest of it.
You know what? Gates blocked for Shelton earlier. Now you've got Shelton blocking for Gates. And Gates is the fastest of all these three. The best able to run that outside play.
Arthur Carmody's extra point. And Louisville strikes first. Lionel Gates, who had 11 touchdowns in 2003, gets the first of 04 for the Louisville Cardinals.
Get the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package featuring more than 150 extra games this season. To order, call your local cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
Oh, thanks, Marge. Sorry. There's this guy named Murphy. He's got this law that says whatever can go wrong, will. That's why the trail-rated Jeep Grand Cherokee is tested on Earth's toughest terrain. It's your loophole in Murphy's Law.
Mike, stop!
Trail-rated capability. Only in a Jeep 4x4.
Coming to DVD.
Took everything from me. The man must die.
This is not revenge. It's punishment. Tom J. John Travolta. Call me the Punisher. Available September 7th.
From Philips comes the only flat TV with built-in ambient light technology, which changes color with whatever you're watching. So you are completely surrounded by the experience. A new Philips flat TV with Ambilight.
This is our house. Everything you have trained for your entire life has prepared you for this moment. It's us versus them. Power, power, power. All I want to talk about is how big they are. And that this is the year they knock us off. Well, when they come in here, they got to play our game in our house, and nobody beats us in our house. We must protect this house.
Ryan Braum on his first collegiate drive goes 4 of 5 for 29 yards.
And on that third down to set up the touchdown, he sees that it's a linebacker guarding Gates. And he knows that linebackers aren't very good at coverage. And so this ball's going to be in the air. And right now you see Gates at the right of your screen. He doesn't even look back for it. It goes right past his head. If that had been a defensive back, he would have turned back and picked it up. But Braum, knowing that it was a linebacker, took that risk, and it was a good one.
Dave, I liked Braum's composure.
Well, you said the key thing. The game slowed down for him, and you don't expect that from an 18-year-old kid. To the 20-yard line, Keenan Burton. Past the 40, a flag down, though. As Burton finally is stopped at the 45-yard line by Preston Smith. But again, a penalty flag down. 41-yard return that will likely be negated. And it will be. Rich Brooks gets a good return, but instead, because of the penalty, Kentucky will not have good field position.
On the return, 10 yards in the spot of the foul, first down.
Rich Brooks is new to this rivalry, but he is not unfamiliar with heated rivalries since he was part of that Oregon State Civil War rivalry up in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest.
Well, he got a pretty good feel for it last year, guys, especially when Louisville decided to call timeout and punch it in late in the game when the contest was already decided.
Yeah, he didn't like that. We asked him about that, and he said, you have to ask those other guys.
They line up Shane Boyd in the shotgun on first down at the Kentucky 25. True freshman Tony Dixon is into the game at running back. Boyd in trouble and got it away to his backup tight end Eric Scott, and Scott picks up about 8 yards. ABC's Monday Night Football officially opens its 35th anniversary season as the Super Bowl champs. The Patriots take on the Colts. It all happens Thursday night, September 9th at 8 Eastern on ABC Sports Championship Television. A rematch of the AFC title game, perhaps a preview of the AFC Championship game this year.
Kentucky's done a nice job of keeping this close, but now they're in danger if they don't stop Louisville from getting up 2 scores. They'll be in danger of having to play catch-up. When you've got a young offensive line, a young quarterback, You absolutely do not want to get into that position. And so this is a very important drive for the Cardinals offensively. They've got to get down and make something happen because they've got to not allow Louisville to blitz like crazy from a position of points ahead.
There's an 8-yard gain that's taken away because of a late hit on the left tackle by the left tackle, Michael Aitchison, and he just got pulled from the game.
Talking to. Rich Brooks went right to him because he's hurting his team right now. They were getting out to midfield area. Now they're backed up a bit.
Ernie Pelayo, a junior out of Riverside, California, will come into the game at left tackle. 2nd down and 16 for Kentucky. Well, Kentucky just doesn't have the weapons that Louisville does if the Cardinals were to get ahead by 2 or 3 scores.
Well, they do have an advantage outside with the receivers because of the height of their receivers and because they have good speed out there, but they don't have the quarterback skills to really be in 2nd and 16, 2nd and 18 and be effective or be behind late in the ball game, as you mentioned.
And they don't have the offensive line skills to be 2nd and 18 and behind and pick up all those blitzes reliably.
We don't mean to pile on, but they also don't have a running back that can maybe make a guy miss on 2nd and 18 and pick up 7 or 8 yards and get you back to more manageable 3rd down.
That's probably piling on.
Boyd slings that one. It's incomplete, trying to hit Scott Mitchell. So it brings up 3rd down and long. That would have got Kentucky back towards, or at least closer anyway, to the original line of scrimmage.
And you can see the struggle between what Louisville wants to do defensively and what Kentucky wants to do offensively. Louisville wants to keep Boyd in the pocket and make him a pocket passer. Kentucky, on the other hand, they want to get him out of the pocket, get him on the move, and let him use his athleticism to make plays.
Boyd last year completed under 35% of his passes. But remember, at one point, Guy Morris, then head coach of Kentucky, thought he was better than Jared Lorenzen, starting him as a freshman in 2001. Boyd eludes the sack, going deep for Burton. Knocked away at midfield by Kerry Rhodes and William Gay, both into the play.
But what a throw by Boyd. Under pressure, on the move, and it gets through there all the way to the very last, and it gets knocked away by Rhodes. But look at the pressure that Boyd is under, and look what he does. He keeps his eyes downfield, he keeps his eyes on his receivers, and he throws it on the run, takes the hit. Now watch this ball come in. Right of your screen, number 19, that's Burton. It almost gets there, but 2 guys knock it away, and I'll tell you what, it's not a completion, but Shane Boyd has got to feel good about that.
Anthony Burton to punt again for Kentucky. Montrell Jones waits for it. And another good kick, but returnable for Jones. And Jones to the 48-yard line for about 12 yards. Late flag flies in. So penalty on Louisville.
Block it back, 25 red. 10 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
That penalty on Antoine Harris. Let's check in with Dave.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. Trainers on both sides are being very careful today about cramps because it is so hot. One reason, it's field turf here at Louisville. It's the 2nd year they've used this surface. Now there's a rubber and sand base inside. If you dig your hands in there, this all absorbs the heat, so it is very hot on the field. Some of the trainers stuck a thermometer in this surface before the game. It was 120 degrees on the field, but there is a breeze, so beyond the surface, it's not so bad, guys.
And imagine, Dave, if that was artificial turf, how hot it would be on the field. That's one of the benefits of field turf, not as hot as the artificial stuff. 1st down on the Louisville 38. And Braum is still in the game at quarterback. And Shelton gets the call on the running play. And Shelton carries a couple of Kentucky players with him to the 42. Sweet Pea Burns, who wasn't supposed to be playing every single down because of a knee injury, has been out there a lot, made the tackle on that play. He's got 3 stops already in the game.
Well, the disadvantage for Burns is that he doesn't have a whole lot of depth behind him, whereas Louisville has a lot of depth at running back. They can platoon them, and they've talked about that heat, 120 degrees on that field turf. What's worse is that that retains moisture and it throws up humidity.
All I know is that once you get a cramp during a game in heat like this, you just cannot get rid of it. You're pretty much done. It'll keep coming back.
Empty backfield for Braum on 2nd and 5. And Braum gets drilled and loses it. Brom gets it back, though. There were two white shirts around him. Jarrell White drilled Brom, but he gets the ball back.
Well, as a freshman, you usually only see things very narrowly on a field. As you get older and more experienced, you see things more broadly. Here, he can only see in one direction. He doesn't hear or feel the pressure coming from his right side.
Well, he's got J.R. Russell to the left. That's his best receiver. He knew that's where he wanted to go based on his pre-snap read, and so he locked in on it.
2 sacks already by Kentucky. 3rd down and 14 for Brom. Tinch in motion. Wildcats rush 4. Screen play to Gates. Good grab at the 30. And Gates still going to be way short of the first down. Taken down to the 39 by Antoine Huffman. So Louisville will have to punt the ball away.
And as you can see, there's a different game plan when Brom is in there. Defensively, they bring more pressure. They try to get in a long situation and then force him to read coverages there. And going to the screen pass was a good call in that situation and avoided a pick.
And Kentucky coach Rich Brooks is a sneaky old salt, because he spent all day in our conference call telling us about how there won't be any difference in the defensive game plan. And lo and behold, it's hugely different.
Listen, I got to tell you, you can't believe everything the coaches tell you to me. Okay?
Really?
Yeah.
That breaks my heart.
Moody trying to angle it inside the 20. Beautiful kick. And a fortuitous bounce. Down at the 6.
53 yards on the punt by Moody. Kentucky will take over.
So poor field position again for Kentucky, but the Wildcats only down 7.
ESPN's College Football Sunday, brought to you by Jeep. Trail-rated capability, only in a Jeep 4x4. And the Punisher DVD, in stores on September 7th.
Louisville with a 3-1 advantage in total yards, but just a 7-0 lead. However, Kentucky is backed up after a 54-yard punt. Looked like one of those bananas you try to kick in soccer. On the corner kick.
They kick bananas in soccer?
You know what I mean.
Are you sure?
First down at the 7. And Boyd with a quick drop. And slings it up to Jared Parker. Not much on that pickup. Robert McCune on the tackle as we check in once again with Reese.
Well, guys, the number 44 carries great significance in Syracuse. Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Larry Sonka, Floyd Little. I don't think 44 is going to be remembered for today. This is Jerome Brooks of Purdue going into the house and making it 44-0. Syracuse down to Purdue.
Yeah, not the type of 44 that Orange fans wanted to see, of course. And there's the total yards we talked about earlier. 2nd and 10. They go 3 wide. Boyd to throw again. And he's got a man just out of the arc stretch downs of Jared Parker. 2 wide. 3rd down and long. Shane Boyd, a senior from Lexington, Kentucky, taking over for Jared Lorenzen, the all-time leading passer in Kentucky. There are the numbers. One of those numbers probably a little skewed.
Yeah, let's just get rid of that right there. And why don't we put something like 305? Yeah, that's probably better.
He hasn't been 285 since he was 11.
But Boyd, he is such a smart quarterback, and he is so athletic that you like to see him in that Kansas State offense.
Boyd 4 out of 9 passing for 22 yards. Kentucky just 1 of 5 on 3rd down. They got to get 10 yards here to convert. Boyd has time. Pass perhaps deflected at the line. Kentucky will have to punt from its end zone.
He's not going to be the quarterback who throws for a high percentage. He's going to run, and he's going to make the big throw for you, the big catch.
But he's also going to make good decisions. That time he saw safety J.T. Haskins come up to the right side of his line, pulled out, called an audible to get the running back to block him. Now, it didn't succeed in terms of the physical execution, but what a great decision by Boyd to change the blocking scheme.
Keep in mind, guys, Louisville blocked 5 punts last year, including 1 in this game, but they don't get it this time, even though the punter went down and the flag flies. Jones at the 40. stood up at the 38. And again, a penalty flag down in the end zone. Anthony Thornton, the punter, was hit after the ball left his foot. So a huge penalty, because that keeps Louisville's potent offense off the field maybe for the rest of the half.
It's a 15-yarder. There you see. And maybe a little bit of acting there.
Well, it's enough acting, though.
I'm not sure he got it.
It doesn't matter, though, because the fact that he got under his legs, that's the key.
It's afterwards.
There it is.
It's the excessive or extracurricular activity after the play that you sometimes get in rivalry games that can be kind of chippy.
Well, that was chippy. That was a chip right to the jaw. Punters don't like it when defenders block them after the kick. And he already was knocked to the ground. I'm sure he wanted a flag there, didn't get it. And then they went and blocked him on top of it. Now they're inside his head, and I think that's what they're looking for.
Petrino is preaching composure.
Kentucky coaches really like true freshman running back Tony Dixon. He's getting as much time as the two veteran running backs they have. And here's his first carry. And actually it was a fake, and Boyd kept it and picked up about 5 or 6 yards to the 20-70-yard line. Another tackle by McCune, his 5th.
There you go. Once again, it's not the action on the kicker. That was not roughing the kicker there. Actually, he flags it.
That was
he does. He threw the flag on that one. I don't get that one because it didn't look like he really got it.
That was enough. Then Antoine Sharp gave him some extra and kind of got him under the jaw as well. It almost could have been either one.
Yeah, but he threw the flag on the dance, the act in the end zone.
Should have been on the late bump by Sharp. 2nd and 4. Boyd steps up, eludes a sack, finally goes down as he gets back near the line of scrimmage. Another play made by Robert McCune.
Let's go back to this play. Is this roughing the kicker? Well, you know, it looks like he barely touched him, but you do have to allow the kicker to come down. There's the flag. Yeah. And because he didn't come down cleanly, that's why he had to throw.
But now look at this. Bang, up in the chin. And so really they could have called either one.
No, that's okay.
That's a block. That's a legal block.
It's a block unless you get him under the chin. But it was called on the original because of what you said, Rod. He wasn't allowed to come down cleanly.
Yeah, I didn't think that he'd actually stepped on him. I thought he'd actually kind of acted his way out of that. But on that replay, it looked to me like he did touch him a little bit.
Big play for Kentucky. Try to keep that clock moving. Just 1 of 6 on 3rd down. Louisville showing blitz. Here they come. And Boyd rolling out. Back across the middle to his backup tight end Scott for the first down and more to the 41-yard line. 13-yard pickup. Nice run and throw by Shane Boyd.
And another smart decision. He wanted to go outside to Burton right here, but Burton is going to be held all the way down the field. It's not seen, it's not called, and Boyd does a smart thing. There's the hold, you can see it, but Boyd decides he's not going to go out there to that guy because he's being held.
Good vision by Boyd in that play. From the 41. There is the first carry for true freshman Tony Dixon. Picks a hole and gets up to the 48-yard line. About 7 yards on that carry. And the running game starting to work for Kentucky here in the 2nd quarter.
Tony Dixon, a freshman, he was a cornerback coming in. Corner, defensive back. And they switched him over to running back just because he had such amazing burst. They wanted to see what he could do in the backfield, and nobody could tackle him. Nobody could catch him when they had him in fall camp. So they're trying to give him a shot out here at game experience, see if the Louisville Cardinal defense can catch him.
Dixon from Parrish, Alabama, holds the state record, had 43 touchdowns in 1 year. 2nd and 3. And this time, the freshman fumbles the ball, and Louisville has it at the 45-yard line. Brent Johnson forced the fumble and recovered it for the Cardinals.
They've been running a read play and then sometimes an off-tackle play. And you always wonder about the exchange on those plays. This is a simple handoff. He got it cleanly. He just didn't secure the ball as it got poked out of there.
And Montavious Stanley, number 92, sticks his hand in before Dixon can get it. Now look at number 92. He reaches his right hand across, and while Dixon is looking at the guys coming into his face, from the side, Stanley pulls it out.
Coach is reminding him that they still need him. He can't go in the tank now.
He'll get another chance as LaForce is back into the game. And he fires to Russell. Penalty flag down. That might be against Russell for pushing off. The safety, Mike Williams. J.R. Russell, senior from Tampa, Florida. 75 catches last year. And that is against Russell.
And that's the matchup that Russell wanted. Get him matched up on either a linebacker or a safety, and he's usually going to just eat them up.
On the offense, number 3, 15 yards, repeat, first down.
And he shouldn't have to push off on a safety unless he's being really held.
No, but wide receivers are good at little things like that. Cornerbacks are good at, as we look at Williams, cornerbacks are good at countering it, but safeties are not good at countering it. That's why J.R. Russell tried to pull that little trick on him. The official, play traffic cop.
I'm not certain about that because Russell goes right into Williams. Williams was squared up in front of him. That's just contact.
Yeah, it looked like he was a little bit to the side. I think it could have gone either way.
So on 1st and 25, LaForce rolls out. Throwing on the run, incomplete. Good coverage by Abdullah. He was all over Tiger Jones, the intended receiver. Abdullah, second-team All-SEC last year.
Dave, I'm impressed with how hard Kentucky is playing. You can see that there is a lot more effort than we saw in this team on tape from last year's game. They seem to be flying around. Maybe it's the intensity of the rivalry, but they are certainly playing hard today.
Well, part of it is that they're accustomed now to the coaching staff. Anytime you get a new staff in, it takes a while for the team to learn to trust them, to learn what's expected of them. Kentucky now in the second years of the Brooks regime is there.
On 2nd and 25, it's a draw play. Gates to midfield. Flag flies in as Gates is taken down at the 48-yard line. We'll hash it out when we come back. First, let's go to Reese Davis to tell us what's coming up at halftime.
All right, Dave, Trev, and Mark are with me. The Orange got crushed. We'll talk about that. You're seeing a freshman quarterback. We'll talk about some others. There's one Wildcat who's known for singing the blues.
I wonder what position he plays. Could it be offensive line, running back? You have to stay tuned at half to find out.
You mentioned quarterbacks. The quarterbacks you're talking about, Reese, are freshmen at Tennessee. How well they play later on today?
Yeah, we'll have Tennessee and UNLV coming up later. We'll see you at halftime.
All right, guys, we've got a freshman quarterback in this game. True freshman Brian Brom, who led Louisville to its only score of the first half. That's the only score in the game. Penalty against the Cardinals.
What number, Paul? Holding, number 76 on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the flag. Repeat, second down.
That's right guard Kurt Quarterman in his first year as a starter.
And nose guard Lamar Mills limped off the field after that last play, number 45. He's one of the best in the SEC. He's taking on the block. Let's see what happens to him. Oh, he just gets completely landed on. Jason Spitz goes about 308 pounds, and that was an awkward way to fall. Looks like he got the wind knocked out of him. He'll be back.
8 penalties combined in this game. The run to draw again to Gates. Good ankle tackle at 37 by Chad Anderson. So about 7 yards in the pickup. It'll bring up 3rd down and about an 8-iron.
And you've got to like the way this first half has gone so far for Kentucky. 1:35 to go. They're only down by 7. Nobody gave them a chance to be anywhere near this high-powered Louisville offense. And if they can get off of this field at no worse of a score than this going into halftime, you've got to like their chances coming out in the second half.
Do you hit your 8-iron that well?
Probably more like a 6-iron.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of long for you.
I don't know. I got 2 kids. I never get to play golf.
Rich Brooks is playing a lot of golf, but he says his game is not that good anymore.
I think he probably stopped with the work that they have to do at Kentucky. I mean, you look at the fact that they only have 73 scholarships. Certainly tough for Kentucky.
That is sweet.
My pride and joy.
Oh, it looks new.
Like right out of the showroom.
Oh, that is one great looking...
Whoa, hold on, honey. I'm showing Tom the floor.
Nice floor, Joan.
Make your garage floor the envy of the neighborhood. You can do it yourself with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield Garage Floor Coating. After prep, you're ready to go. Simple as painting a wall. Easy to clean and resist chipping and peeling. This all-inclusive kit is available at home centers, hardware stores, and automotive retailers near you. And now, transform your unfinished basement with Epoxy Shield Basement Floor Coating.
Mom! Hey, Mom, I'm out of here.
You're a two-car family, and you're one car short. Now your State Farm agent can help with information on auto loans, as well as competitive rates on auto insurance. All from the company you trust. We live where you live.
Whose mom's driving next week?
Welcome back to Louisville. Stephon LaForce is sacked on 3rd down and 28 by B.J. Parsons. He's the backup to Sweet Pea Burns. He makes the play on LaForce. You guys surprised at all with what you've seen here out of Louisville offensively in this first half? They're supposed to be one of the best in the country.
Yeah, I am surprised, and I have to wonder a little bit if just changing quarterbacks up has kind of knocked off the rhythm. LaFleur is not playing the way he did last year yet. Braum has been impressive, but they've also made mistakes, penalties and the like, and they just don't seem quite to have the rhythm that they had at times last season.
Part of that is Kentucky's defense, though. It's a lot better than people give them credit for. They've got very strong and active defensive linemen that have been putting some pressure on LaForce, just as we saw that sack there. And what happened, I think, with Braum is that as they tried to blitz him, it depleted the coverage in the backfield, and Braum was able to hit that depleted coverage and hurt him. How would he do if they laid back in coverage like they have with LaForce? I don't know.
Yeah, and Braum is playing well. I don't see the same kind of performance yet out of LaFleur.
Well, Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator for Kentucky, has been around the block a few times. He was a head coach at LSU, won an SEC title when he was there, was a linebackers coach with the Steelers for 6 seasons, and he's got 9 returning starters. And their defense last year was the best in terms of scoring defense in 10 years at Kentucky.
Well, and he also knows Bobby Petrino. He coached against him in the NFL. Petrino was with the Jaguars, and Archer was with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Archer knows defense. He also coached with our Bill Curry on that Kentucky staff several years ago. So he's a good coach, and he knows this system that Petrino likes to run.
And he knows that the best way to counter that system is not to be too complicated on defense. One of the things he told us in our meeting, went to great length about it, was that rather than go into multiple blitzes and multiple defensive sets and disguises, he wanted to make it relatively simple because he knew that Louisville was going to be complex in what they would try to do. So his players wouldn't have to think so much as just fly around.
Kentucky will get the football. Will not have any timeouts left. We'll have 1 minute and 22 seconds to work with. So far, Brent Moody, the Louisville punter, is averaging 54.5 yards per boot. This is not a good one. But another favorable bounce, and it goes through the wickets of Drake Davis. And Kentucky's going to have to start from its 12. 51-yard punt by Moody. Kentucky will get the ball back. 1:11 to go in the opening half. 7-0 Louisville.
Hurry into Circuit City Sunday and Monday only for amazing specials throughout the store. Sunday and Monday only, you'll save $30 on this Sony 3.2 megapixel digital camera with 3 times optical zoom. Just $199.99. Sunday and Monday only, take home this 27-inch TV for only $159.99. You'll find great prices on computers, televisions, music, movies, and more. Don't miss the savings. Sunday and Monday only at Circuit City.
The University of Louisville is a catalyst. U of L is making significant medical discoveries that will lead to healthier lives.
They hand it off to Alexei Bagengi, and he only gets 3 or 4 on that play, so maybe Kentucky is going to settle before going into the half down just 7-0.
And I think they should. It's a hot day. Their defense has been out on the field. You're only down 7. You're backed up. Take it in.
Don't want to make a mistake down here, but Boyd is going to pass on this play. And he's going deep for Holt. Overthrown and complete. Good coverage by Antoine Harris. Amobi Okoye, guy you guys talked about earlier, put pressure on Boyd that time.
The question about Okoye, you talk about a 17-year-old. What if he turns out to be really special and he's an 18-year-old junior? Could he go to the NFL? The NFL rule is 3 years removed from high school. He'd be an 18-year-old eligible for the NFL draft, and the NFL has always argued that you got to be, what, 20, 21 to be strong enough?
Well, Larry Fitzgerald is the youngest player in the NFL this year at 20 years old, but he had that year at prep school. Bagengi takes it out to the 22, very close to the first down marker, so they'll stop the clock. Measure. We're seeing a lot of different guys get the football at running back for Kentucky in this first half.
Well, they're trying to find a guy that can step up and be the man. But this guy here, Okoye, even if he does possibly go to the NFL, the difference between receiver and Fitzgerald and defensive tackle is massive. When you're a defensive tackle, you're going to have 28-year-old men that all weigh 320 pounds leaning on you for 70 plays a game.
Yep.
And so he is a great NFL prospect, in my opinion, because of his body type. He's very, very squatty, very difficult to knock out of there. He's almost like a bowling ball with a head in that regard. But at the same time, he needs some time to finish growing up.
Bowling ball with a head?
Bowling ball with a head. That means he's hard to get under him, hard to drive him out of there because he's got a really good defensive tackle NFL-style body. He just needs more years on it. 315
pounds, who knows? A couple years he could be Ted Washington size. Washington, the former Cardinal. Boyd's pass nearly picked off, and a flag down. Boyd got hit late. William Gay nearly intercepted the pass, but Boyd was drilled after he got rid of the ball.
And it's fortunate for Kentucky that they pick up this first down, because as a defensive player on the sideline on a hot day like this, you don't want to go back out there when you've made stops.
Defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
5 penalties now against Louisville in the first half. That was Marcus Jones, the sack leader from last year. They've done a good job on him in this game.
Yeah, they really have.
He had 10 sacks last year, 17 tackles for a loss. You've been able to see anything on the line? Reason why they've been able to keep him out of the backfield?
The reason why is that he has to watch out for Shane Boyd taking off and running just like this. See, he breaks contain. The reason he breaks contain is because Bobby LeFew came inside to maintain his rushing lane. That's why we don't see Marcus Jones getting as many sacks, because he's got to be more disciplined with the lanes he takes to rush. Take a look at the left side of your screen. Check the right side of your screen now. You're going to see number 48 coming inside right there. And that allows Boyd to get outside. He tried to throw a big-time spin inside for his pass rush, but it worked out that it allowed the escape route. That's why we don't see Jones, because Jones is playing more disciplined.
Boyd just 3 for his last 10. 2nd and 16. 2nd and 10, rather. And Boyd almost got hit by Dumerville, didn't see him. And then Dumerville gets crushed, and Boyd is going deep, and Burton's down there. But it's picked off, underthrown, and Kerry Rhodes intercepts.
Now this becomes a recess play after the pressure. You see the pressure there? Watch your quarterback spin out that way. After Boyd does his spin out, now all the receivers are breaking off routes and trying to go deep and get near where he can do something to and get the ball to him.
And poor Elvis Dumerville, 3 offensive linemen line him up. I'm sure he's wondering where the rest of those red jerseys are.
Not a bad play there by Boyd. Might as well throw it up. It's the end of the half. See if maybe you get a deflection into the arms of your receiver. That's the 2nd turnover by Kentucky, and Louisville will close off the half of the running play to Gates. And Gates up to about the 34. 18-yard pickup. Now Bobby Petrino thought that maybe after that first drive, Louisville would be up by 2 or 3 scores. But it's 7-0 Louisville at halftime. Let's join Reese, Trev, and Mark for the ESPN College Football Halftime Report. Dave Pasch alongside Rod Gilmore and Trevor Matich. And A little bit of an inauspicious start for Louisville, guys. Even though the Cardinals lead, people here were talking as if they might be up 3 or 4 touchdowns at halftime, and it looked early like that might be the case.
Louisville's really kind of struggled on offense. Penalties have hurt them. I think in the second half, the quarterback situation, they've got to deal with that a little bit. Braum has been great. LaFleurs hasn't. Only 5 passes thrown in the first half. I think they have to get him going. And if they do that and they feed their studs, they get the ball to Russell and then get it to Bush, they'll get something going in the second half.
They tried to do that in the first half, though. And I give so much credit to Kentucky's defense because they expected it and they stopped it. Why does Louisville only have 7 points? 2 reasons. One, opening drive of the game, 79 yards. 4th and goal on the 1. Kentucky stuffed them for no points. Second reason, Louisville is only 2 of 7 for 3rd downs. Kentucky's defense is getting them off the field, and they're not doing it because Louisville is messing up. They're doing it because they're stopping them.
You see the penalties there. They've hurt themselves, Louisville, 6 of them for 70 yards.
That's our Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield first half stats. 182. First half total yards for Louisville, just 87 for Kentucky. But again, 7-0 is the score. Cardinals in front. And Kentucky will start with the football. Louisville to kick off. Rob Zarilli from the 35. Keenan Burton at the 4. And Burton threw a hole. The kicker to beat. And he makes the play. Todd Flannery, the kicker, keeps Keenan Burton from scoring a touchdown. Still a 44-yard return.
Well, Burton gets a lane to the left side. You'll see it from his angle. That's the lane he sees. He gets the blocking inside and then makes a nice move outside.
And special teams a big plus for Kentucky this year. Last year with a blocked punt, a drop snap, special teams killed them. To open up the second half with this kind of a play builds on the momentum from the first half that the defense has given them.
Best starting field position of the game for Kentucky thanks to that man Keenan Burton. From the 47-yard line. Kentucky has not crossed midfield yet. Here's Holt on the end around. Louisville not fooled. Gain of about 3 on the play. Check in with the 4th member of our crew on the sideline, Dave Ryan.
Well, Dave, one of the big question marks, Louisville preseason camp with head coach Bobby Petrino. How much would Brian Braum, his prized freshman recruit, play quarterback against Stephon LaFleurs? I asked him at halftime, Coach, who will play more in the second half? He said, I don't have that plan quite made yet, so he's keeping it close to the vest. Defensively, very pleased overall. Thought a couple of penalties. Not the best mental decisions some of his players could make. We'll talk about Rich Brooks, Dave, after this play.
We'll see if Louisville can keep it going on defense, Dave. 2nd down and 8. Kentucky's been running ball a little bit better since midway point of the second quarter. But this time, Arliss Beach has nowhere to go. Strung out. Brent Johnson made the tackle. Dave?
As for Rich Brooks, the head coach at Kentucky, very pleased with Shane Boyd's play at quarterback in the first half. He wants to see him checking down to the right play a little bit faster, maybe get to the snap faster. Not audibling quite as much, so the play drags on. It gives Louisville's defense more time to set. Defensively, again, avoiding penalties and digging in. I asked him, who would you rather face, LaFleurs or Brian Braum? He said, I really don't care.
And Dave, Boyd did miss some receivers in the first half that were open, but he's a senior, and I'm sure after talking with the coaching staff, maybe he'll be able to hit some of those receivers, go through his progressions and make some plays. The numbers on the 2 starters in the first half. Play fake, and Boyd just got rid of it, and it's picked off by Rhodes. No white shirts. Touchdown, Louisville. 2nd interception for Rhodes. Marcus Jones put pressure on Boyd. We talked about him making better decisions. That was not a good one.
That was reminiscent of the start of last year's game. His first pass picked off. Second half, this game, his first pass picked off.
Arthur Carmody on for the PAT. 14-0 Louisville. Not the start to the second half that Kentucky wanted. Kerry Rhodes with his second interception. Maybe Shane Boyd doesn't wish he was back on campus.
The Beast. Smarter. Stronger. Tougher. It's time for everyone else to play catch-up again.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine. I put a spell on you. What's up? Because you're mine.
Reactor 3 at critical mass.
Core temperature still rising.
Close the flow channels. Activate the hydrogen recombiners.
Meltdown.
Do it.
In 10 seconds.
Are you new to the team? Well, actually, I'm with the tour group. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Gigs, an unheard of 30 hours of battery life. Introducing the new Sony Network Walkman, like no other.
Second team Conference USA performer Marcus Jones, who had 10 sacks last year, puts pressure on Shane Boyd, the Kentucky quarterback. Throws an interception. It's returned 55 yards for a touchdown. Kentucky head coach Rich Brooks, after excellent field position to start, was hoping for better results, but that's the third turnover of the day by Kentucky. 3 straight drives have ended in turnovers for UK. Drake Davis will take it out about 4 yards deep. Up to the 21, and he is leveled there.
Marcus Jones very disciplined. He's going to rush straight upfield so that Boyd can't go outside. When Boyd turns around, he sees, instead of green grass, a very disciplined pass rush lane from Jones.
And then you see right here, Kerry Rhodes, he's just lurking. He's in down low from that free safety spot, and he's a man free, and he's playing the quarterback's eyes. He sees it perfectly, and there he goes off to the races. A pick 6, 55 yards.
See how Shane Boyd responds. First down at the Kentucky 22. It's a running play, and only about a yard or 2 for Arliss Beach. Game tackled by the Cardinal defense.
That play by Kerry Rhodes could be devastating for Kentucky unless Boyd gets comfortable again in a hurry. You have to think about the impact on him of throwing a pick 6 last year and then throwing another one in this ball game. Can he overcome that mentally?
But that's why you run it up the middle the first play back, to tell the Louisville defense, hey, we're not going to start slinging the ball. You still have to defend the run.
They say that Beach's knee went down to the line of scrimmage, so no gain. 2nd and 10. And Boyd changing the play. Boyd with a quick drop. Burton tried the leaping catch, but could not pull it in. Good coverage by Dominique Dunbar. But a flag down.
Got him with a hold. I assume they will take this and push them farther back.
Have a Big Ten crew for this Conference USA / SEC matchup.
Number 62 on the offense, 10 yards.
That got center Matt McCutcheon, former walk-on, making his first start here in this game.
He came over from Navy, transferred from Navy. Didn't play there. He had a stinger in his neck. Navy doctors told him he shouldn't play football again. He thought that he could, so he transferred.
From the 12-yard line, 2nd and 20. Boyd. Here comes Okoye, and they get the screen to Beach, and he is thrown down. Brandon Johnson with a huge hit on Beach.
And our Navy man, Matt McCutcheon, the center, number 62, went out and tried to get him. This being his first start, he wasn't used to the speed of the game. And so Brandon Johnson gets there first. Now watch the center. Right in the middle, number 62. He's going to start to go out to the right of your screen, but he can't get there. Brandon Johnson gets there first.
Kentucky 3 of 9 on 3rd down. Boyd, pressure's on, got it away and almost threw another interception.
That might be intentional grounding. There wasn't a receiver over there.
No, and he was obviously not outside the tackle box, but no penalty flag down.
Yeah, they caught a break from the officials on that one.
That would have been a safety.
To get him settled down.
Well, it's intentional grounding if he's in the pocket, which he is, and there's no receiver near where he throws it, which there is not. The officials must have thought he was trying to throw it farther, and the defense stopped him. He runs into his own offensive lineman, throws the ball, and gets squashed. Man.
Well, that ball did cross the line of scrimmage, which no doubt saved him on that possible grounding call.
Short kick. Jones breaks a tackle at the 45. But can't slip that one to the 41. Louisville with excellent field position and a 2-touchdown lead early 3rd quarter.
ESPN, you get my warmest regards, extended from the University of Kansas. Happy birthday, happy anniversary. You get my best.
People everywhere are experiencing a breakthrough. Fullness from a value menu.
He was fine, and then he just stopped eating.
This man is completely full. What was he eating?
The spicy chicken burrito.
He kept going, sound. Are you sure? And fullness off a value menu?
It's the new Big Bell Value Menu, featuring the spicy chicken burrito with shredded chicken simmered in authentic Mexican spices. To keep your stomach and your wallet full, think outside the bun.
The Beast. Smarter. Stronger. Tougher. It's time for everyone else to play catch-up again.
Sorry, I was driving too fast.
No, my fault. You must be gelling. Like Magellan.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are so soft, they make any shoe feel outrageously comfortable. Are you gelling? Dr. Scholl's.
This is your soul plane chauffeur.
Coming to DVD. The party is non-stop.
I'm gonna have me some fun on this plane.
Soul Plane. Get the unrated DVD Tuesday.
You wanna say something? You wanna say something?
ESPN's College Football Sunday. Brought to you by Taco Bell, home of the new Big Bell Value Menu. And the next Ford Super Duty. Tougher, stronger, smarter.
Those horses go a little bit slower than the ones that people usually see in this town. Great crowd here for college football, though. Sold out Papa John's Cardinal Stadium, and the home team with a 2-touchdown lead. An intrastate rivalry that is renewed in the season opener for the 10th time in 11 years. Sweet Pea Burns put pressure on the quarterback, and LaFour's pass is incomplete.
Sweet Pea Burns looked like one of those Kentucky Derby horses the way he got in there. He shot out of a cannon just about.
But his nickname is Sweet Pea. Now, when you're a big, muscles rippling stud defensive end and you relish your nickname of Sweet Pea, you are very secure.
Well, who's going to mess with you when you're that big?
That's a very good point. Johnny Cash could have sang A Boy Named Sweet Pea just as easily.
At media day, he wore a suit with pink shoes.
Very secure.
Ivory colored suit.
And was named best dressed.
I don't know who were the judges on that play, or on that decision there, as Eric Shelton gets a couple of yards. Let's check in with Dave Ryan.
Well, Dave, guys, we talked about Sweet Pea Burns. The coaches on the Kentucky staff say he's a great tone setter in practice. They really rely on Sweet Pea to knock someone backwards to get the whole team going. Mike Archer, the defensive coordinator, was a linebackers coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 7 years. Tells us a guy named Greg Lloyd played that same role, a spark plug in workouts who motivate everyone around him. On the field, guys, and field level, you can see he's doing that again today for the Kentucky D.
Burns, a student of the game, spends a lot of time in the film room, comes in on Sundays to sit down with the coaches before they present the film to the team the next day. Completed pass to Montrell Jones. And it's a first down for Louisville, 11-yard pickup.
Well, Dave's right about Sweet Pea, and especially what he does in practice for the team, because young players need to have a bell cow. They need to know what the intensity in practice should be, and he's been injured so much this fall. He's only been back to practice really the last several days that they've missed his leadership in setting the tone for the young players.
I've just never seen a big guy wear pink shoes.
Come on, Trevor's got some in his closet.
I don't know. I haven't seen Mike Golick's.
Not much of the carry by Michael Bush. But forward progress to the 25. So a gain of 3. And Louisville handing it off a lot. So LaFleur is not able to add yet to those 7 attempts.
I think it's important for LaFleur to consummate this drive or another drive to get on the board. Right now, he's behind Brom in terms of touchdowns scored by the offense. He hasn't put one in the end zone yet.
The only touchdown for the offense scored on a running play by Lionel Gates when Brom was the quarterback. And he drove Louisville down the field. Here's Bush off right tackle and springs forward to the 23 for about 2. So 3rd down and 4 or 5 coming up.
There's Brian Brom doing his thing. Not a great runner, but he shows you he's not afraid to pull it down. Only had really one mishap in the first half, and that was not seeing the rush come the other way. But look at this throw here.
Nice throw, nice understanding who the defenders are and what you can get away with.
Brom, a true freshman, USA Today National Offensive Player of the Year. And Louisville will not get the first down as Tinge is stopped at the 20-yard line by safety Mike Williams. What do you do if you're Bobby Petrino? It's going to be 4th down and about 1.5 yards or 2. They've already gone for it twice on 4th down, converted once.
Well, this is a long field goal, and I really think they should go for this.
That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, you're already up 14. You've got a shot to put them away right now, and kicking a field goal wouldn't put them away.
See, I would. I'd kick a field goal just to keep adding the points on. Your defense is controlling things. Make it harder. They already stopped you on the 4th down once before.
But they're not going to stop him here as Shelton picks his way to the 16. A 4-yard gain, and they move the sticks for the Louisville offense. We talk so much, guys, about a potential high-scoring affair. Not a lot of defense, but obviously with 8.5 to go in the 3rd, they've only had 2 scores and only one by an offense.
I'm surprised that Louisville hasn't put more points on the board yet. That is surprising to me.
LaFleur's going to run. And he's wrapped up from behind by Darrell White at the 11-yard line. So about 5 on the carry for LaFleur, who was the top rusher for a single season ever by a Louisville quarterback. Did that last year with over 400 yards.
Yeah, and this high-powered offense hasn't scored, and it surprises me as well, Rob, but I think Mark May was right in pregame that Kentucky's defense is a lot better than people give them credit for, and you've got to give them credit for slowing down this offense, but this is a huge series to keep them from going up 21-0.
Sweet Pea Burns, who you just saw there, played a lot, had an injury. They thought he'd get about 15 to 20 snaps. He had that in the first half. And he almost made a play there on Bush. Still Bush is taken down to the 10, short of the first down, so to bring up 3rd down and a few.
And you know, Kentucky wanted Michael Bush when he was coming out of high school, Mr. Football. They recruit so many of the same players here. They thought he could have wound up being the quarterback over there at Kentucky.
We might even see Bush on defense. Dave Ryan talked about that at the beginning of the game. 114 rushing yards for Louisville. And they're not going to get anywhere near the marker as Shelton is taken down to the line of scrimmage. Chad Anderson and Ray Fontaine team up to make that stop for Kentucky. Do you go for it again, or do you kick the field goal? I think you go for 3. 2.5 yards.
Yeah, I think it's the same concept. It's 2.5 yards, but I'd still go for it again. I would. And then you've got them pinned back. Their offense is going nowhere. Yeah, keep the pressure on.
I'd still kick it. I would have kicked it the last time. I'd kick it this time. Get 17 points or 3 scores. You got a lot of pressure on that offense.
26-yard attempt by Arthur Carmody. His first ever field goal attempt, and it's blocked by Kentucky. Second time today, the Louisville drives down the field and comes up with nothing.
Opening weekend, we have seen so many issues in the kicking game. Sometimes it's about mistakes. Sometimes it's just great athletic ability. And this one is not a mistake. This is athletic ability. Watch DeWalt, number 8. Watch him get up here.
He's 6'6" to begin with.
Wow.
And he's a 220-pound freshman who's going to play on the Kentucky basketball team as well.
Great block by Linnell DeWalt. Keeps it 14-0 Louisville.
The tears, the shadows of misty yesteryears, the good times and the
16 players.
Game starts the minute you walked in the door.
1 billionaire.
I'm looking for the qualities that I feel are important.
The prize $1 million.
Say one thing wrong, bam, you're out of here.
The Benefactor, ABC premiere Monday, September 13th, only on ABC.
You look like you need some help.
Boy, do I ever.
Let me give you a hand with that. And you can have this.
What is it?
It's a free gift just for federal and postal employees and annuitants from the Mail Handlers Benefit Plan. A pocket guide to healthy eating. It makes it easy for you to eat right, whether you're dining out or at home.
Hey, my favorite burger joint's in here.
Yep. And just in time for open season, you'll also get information about the Mail Handlers Benefit Plan. They're known for providing coverage that's accepted wherever you live, work, or travel, thanks to the First Health Network. And they have real people on the phone 24/7, ready to help you get the benefits you need. You can even get great dental and vision benefits.
What do I have to do to get all of this?
Just give us a call. Then sit back and relax until open season.
I can handle that.
If you're a federal or postal employee or annuitant, call 1-800-874-1460 to request your free gift and information about the Mail Handlers Benefit Plan. Supplies are limited, so call now.
Well, Linnell DeWalt, number 8, is the guy you want here, not just because he's 6'6", but part of his recruitment to Kentucky was contingent on Tubby Smith offering him a spot on the basketball team as well.
Shane Boyd to throw, and it completes underneath to the 30-yard line. Arliss Beach, the tailback, picks up 11 yards.
DeWalt led his high school basketball team to the Kentucky State Championship, and that's saying something in the state of Kentucky in high school as well. And so he's got incredible leaping ability. One of the reasons that he was so good in high school in basketball, one of the reasons he'll be allowed to play on one of the premier college programs in the country.
There's a really tall receiving core for the Wildcats. Boyd, 7 of 18, 43 yards, 2 interceptions, but maybe that 11-yard pickup will give him a little confidence. They run the option, and Boyd keeps. And Boyd gets about 4 or 5 to the 36-yard line. Well, speaking of high school, let's get an update on high school football with Reese.
All right, Dave, De La Salle, Concord, California, taking on Bellevue, Washington last night. De La Salle hadn't lost in 12 years, but they couldn't stop the wing T and J.R. Hasty. 39-20, Rod. The De La Salle reign is over, Rodney.
The streak ends a run of 151. Well, it had to end at some point.
No, it didn't.
What, go to 200?
2nd and 5 of the 36. Another option play. Another keeper for Boyd. He runs into his own man but still gets about 11 or 12. Jared Parker collides with Boyd, but it pinballs Boyd forward for a first down. Let's check in once again with Dave Ryan.
Well, there Shane Boyd's been drafted twice by the Minnesota Twins. You mentioned earlier, both times said no thanks. He was a relief pitcher on the Kentucky baseball team this past year and can throw in the low 90s. The Twins used a 12th round draft pick on him, but he did not leave early. Consider signing, report to a low-level minor league team, then return to Lexington for preseason camp. But guys, if football doesn't work out, if he can throw mid-90s, he'll play pro baseball somewhere, sometime down the road.
Absolutely, and accuracy, obviously, a key in baseball. He hasn't been very accurate here today, but maybe he's heating up. Here he throws low, and the pass is incomplete. Trying for Burton, who was open, but the pass was about 3 yards short.
Well, on a pitcher's mound, you get to lean forward and throw it. He had to lean backward that time because Cherry Rhodes was putting the pressure on. That's why it was short.
I do like the rhythm that they're starting to get into offensively now, Kentucky. Ron Hudson is throwing the ball on first down. He's coming back with some option, some lead option, speed option to get Boyd going on second down, trying to shorten the distance. I like the rhythm of the offense right now.
Boyd does seem more comfortable rolling out as well. And they're doing a lot of that. Second down and 10. Arliss Beach grabbed from behind and fumbled the ball, but now they're going to say he's down. Elvis Dumerville, who the coaches say can't be blocked by the Louisville offense in practice, made the play.
That means a lot because their offensive line is one of the strongest offensive lines they've ever had here in Louisville. If they can't block him, this young offensive line, untested offensive line in Kentucky will have extra trouble.
It's important for Boyd to convert a third and long. He's got to come up with a throw on third and long one of these times in order to get his team moving. It's on his shoulders.
And Kentucky just 3 for 10 on third down. They've only crossed midfield once, and that was earlier this quarter. Boyd has time. Then the pocket collapses, and down goes Boyd for a sack. Montavious Stanley with the sack for Louisville.
And Brandon Johnson made this happen. Stanley got the hit, but Brandon Johnson forced him to bug out of the pocket. He came on a blitz on the right side. He's going to come right on the right here, and come through unblocked, number 97, and that's what allows actually Elvis Dumerville to make that sack. Elvis has not left the building. He is seated comfortably atop Shane Boyd.
See, I think that's pocket presence. I think he lacked it there. I don't think he had to move up into that thing.
They'll share that sack. Stanley had him low, Dumerville had him high, and they'll punt it away on fourth down. Jones to his right, and the kick is short. It's a Kentucky player, and Louisville will have to start inside the 20-yard line. Well, fans everywhere can make a difference on September 7th. It's simple. Wear your favorite team's apparel to work on September 7th. In exchange, each participant can make a donation of $5 or more to the V Foundation to benefit cancer research. Anyone can participate. Companies, schools, organizations, and individuals join ESPN and many other companies by declaring September 7th Show Your Spirit Day.
All right, so I'm wearing some cardinal and white on Tuesday.
I'll be wearing some blue and white. BYU knocks off Notre Dame last night.
I'd wear orange for Syracuse, but not after a 44-0 defeat.
No, you just wear orange and put a 44 on it.
Very funny. Low 4 is rolling out. Stays in bounds. Great block by his tight end. Adam McCauley springs LaFours for about 13 yards. Sealed off Ray Fontaine for LaFours to get some room.
And this is a nice block. Ray Fontaine, a linebacker. McCauley, a brand new tight end. He's not used to playing number 45 because their starting tight end transferred to Georgia Tech. And so McCauley having to pick up the slack, blocks an outstanding outside linebacker, man for man in the open field.
By the way, I found out Syracuse lost 51-0, so you wear 51 on the jersey. Yeah. First down to the Louisville 31. And penalty flags down some movement. May have been McCauley, the former walk-on. Replaces Wayne Riles, who was to be the starter, but walked off the team.
On the offense, number 45, 5 yards, remains first down.
That was McCauley.
You know, it was interesting talking to Bobby Petrino about quarterback play and about getting Braum here to Louisville. He says everything he does is to make the quarterback successful. That practice is geared towards that. And he said he learned that several years ago by a different experience we'll talk about after this play.
Michael Bush gets the call, and there's a huge hole. 35 and up to the 38, and flags fly at the 32. Antoine Huffman on the tackle for Kentucky.
When Bobby Petrino was an assistant coach at Arizona State with Bruce Snyder, he said he was often frustrated in practice because everything was geared towards the tailback. The passing attack in practice was cut short, and he vowed that once he became a head coach, he would gear everything towards his quarterback, and that had a huge influence on Brom coming to Louisville to get prepared for the NFL.
Still, first down.
So penalty on Louisville.
Well, in high school, a lot of these top high school players, and he was Offensive Player of the Year, USA Today, coming out of high school, Kentucky Mr. Football. They think about not just college, but ahead to the potential of the NFL. And if you're a top quarterback and you're recruited by a Tennessee and a Notre Dame and a Louisville, you've got to look at the scheme they're going to run. This is an NFL scheme.
Ryan Brom, again, a true freshman. His brother Jeff, a quarterback coach. His brother Greg, director of football operations. Grew up here in Louisville. On the screen, it's Bush to the 30. Breaks a tackle. Finally cut down inside the 40-yard line by Warren Wilson as he saves a touchdown. 41-yard pickup for Bush.
How versatile is Michael Bush? As a junior in high school, he was voted All-State at 5 positions. At Louisville, this is one of the positions they use him. Out of the backfield, swing pass. He's a big guy, about 250, but he's got really good feet.
And they want to get that big size down there on the safeties to make them tackle him, because he'll break tackles just like he did there. Later in the game, those little guys get tired.
Bush, 240 pounds. They fake it to him. And LaForce has his tight end. And McCauley pulls it into the 20 for a 16-yard gain. The Kentucky coaches told us whenever Bush is in the game, he gets the ball. Not that time.
And just watch the way LaForce is moving on the field. He looks a lot more confident. He looks a lot more fluid about what he's doing. I think he's finding his rhythm, the rhythm he didn't have in the first half.
If you're Petrino, do you go back with Brom in the fourth quarter at some point?
I would. I'd give him another series, but I'd like to have him throw some more.
Oh, LaForce almost throws an interception. Miscommunication between he and Russell, and Huffman should have picked it off.
Rod, I wouldn't go back with Brom in the fourth quarter. I think you've got him his playing time. He's the young guy. He's the backup. Now's the time for your starter, LaForce, to really get solid and really get a rhythm. Even though this play almost picked off. Part of that reason is that he needs time to get used to his defensive or his receivers going against the full speed of defensive backs in the game.
When you're down 14-0 and you need a play, you have to come up with that interception as Bush takes it off right tackle for about 3 and 17. Let's check in with Dave Ryan.
A bit this morning after the Louisville Courier-Journal newspaper came out, and one of the preview articles about several Mr. Footballs in Kentucky, you guys mentioned, going to Louisville, not Kentucky. Kentucky coach Rich Brooks was quoted as saying Michael Bush isn't a starter, a heck of a player, but not the starter caliber player you'd want there. Michael Bush took exception to it, guys. He plans on talking to Rich Brooks about that quote after the game today. We'll see what happens.
All right, Dave, and Bush is not in the game on this play. As LaForce rolls out and throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Wide open in the end zone, Broderick Clark.
Well, Justin Haydock is a linebacker, backup linebacker. He's the one that's supposed to have that corner. And he's not there. Everybody forgot.
Clark needed 1 foot, and he got both in. The PAT is good for Carmody. 21-0 Louisville.
One of the outstanding things here, LaForce, his ability to throw on the run makes him so dangerous. Look at that thing. That's movement. That's perfect placement.
And check that. That was not Haydock. I apologize to the Haydock family everywhere. That was Muhammad Abdullah. Haydock had a good coverage on that. But Stephon LaFleurs knows that was the right play on a broken scramble.
You watch the routes down into the end zone, down there. Now watch LaFleur when he comes out to the side, and you'll see the receiver staying deep to the end zone. And the tightrope on the end by the quarterback and also by Broderick Clark.
Yeah, you can see LaFleur is tiptoeing the sideline as Clark was before Clark, who did not have a touchdown last year, pulls it in for Louisville. And on that drive, LaFleur's 3 of 4, 73 yards and a touchdown to Broderick Clark. Flannery to kick it away. He saved a touchdown the last time he booted it. Rich Brooks' team down 3 scores, just under a minute to go in the third. That drive took less than 2 minutes. Burton getting another chance to return. Cut down to the 14-yard line by J.T. Haskins.
Kentucky will take over.
So Clark's touchdown makes it 21-0.
And once again, our 5th-year big kickoff kid, Alex.
And Kentucky is going to have to come up with scores in a hurry. And their running game isn't much of a threat anyway, but now Louisville knows they have to throw.
Remember, in rivalry games, anything goes. Remember last year, the running up the score allegation against Louisville at the end of the ball game, the gratuitous touchdown? I don't have any doubt that Louisville, if given the opportunity, they will pile it on in the 4th quarter if they're way up.
The 2 teams will meet again next year, but right now that's the last year in terms of the contract in which they'll play. Kentucky doesn't like playing this game this early in the season, as Beach takes it for about 12 to the 25-yard line. But Louisville would love to play this game as the season opener for years to come.
And one of the things Louisville wants to do is expand their success last year when they were the #1 offense in Conference USA to be the #1 offense in the entire nation. And when you've got an opportunity to pile up some stats, I don't know that they won't take that opportunity.
This is their last season in Conference USA. They're heading to the Big East next season.
Along with South Florida and Cincinnati in football, Marquette and DePaul are joining in basketball. And Brandon Johnson showing some speed, tracking down the running back Beach near the sideline of the 25-yard line. Minimal gain for Beach.
Brandon Johnson's a 6'5", 208-pound. I wouldn't call him a beanpole because he'd probably come up here and beat me up, but he's got a lot of speed, and the way to attack him in the running game is not to let him run to the sideline. You've really got to go right at a player like this.
And Kentucky unable to get the playoff, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter. Louisville scores twice in the 3rd. A touchdown pass by Stephon LaFors, and an interception return for a touchdown by Kerry Rhodes. Clark's TD makes it 21-0. It's all about family here in Louisville.
ESPN the magazine on newsstands now.
You know that story where the hero rides off in the sunset? Why not make this weekend Chapter 1? Head for the mountains of Busch Beer.
Ford Explorer. It's the first midsize SUV with an available safety canopy system. It has the best pick endorsement from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. And it has a wealth of technology that delivers not only safety, but confidence with outstanding on- and off-road capability. Ford Explorer. The best-selling and most trusted SUV in America. Ford Explorer.
They set up in the eye on this, the last play of the game. And here's the snap. Hand off to the tailback. Peterson tries the right side. Wow, what a hit. But he stays on his feet, and he's broken to the outside, and it's wide open. Touchdown. Give him a touchdown.
3 takedown. Buckle up. Rated T for teen.
EA Games.
Challenge everything.
Now through Monday, Zales is having a store-wide sale where you can save up to 60% off and more throughout the store. Like this 3-carat diamond bracelet for just $279, our lowest price ever. Quantities are limited. At Zales, the diamond store.
Wow, new cherry Pepto. I love cherries.
Now there's a Pepto flavor everyone will love, and that's reason to dance. Look for it today.
21-0. Louisville leads it as we start the fourth quarter. Shane Boyd has struggled in this game. We'll see if he can bring the Cats back from 3 scores down. To the air on first down. Knocked away. Brandon Johnson makes another play. Time for our ESPN game track with the Cardinals leading 21-0.
A good start for Louisville. A good start for Brian Brom in his college career. The freshman quarterback was outstanding. And he got some help defensively as well because Kerry Rhodes broke open the game in the third quarter with a pick-6.
Yeah, he did, and this broke it open, and this makes it look even better for Louisville than it really is because they have struggled with Kentucky's defense.
On 3rd and 9, Boyd with time, hit as he throws, incomplete. Montavious Stanley got pressure on the quarterback, and so did Marcus Jones. Elvis Dumerville was around the quarterback as well.
This Louisville defense really struggled last year. They wore down towards the end of the year, gave up a boatload of points, were pushed all over the field, brought in a new defensive coordinator, and all of a sudden they're playing aggressive, they're playing strong, and they look completely different from what they were last year.
That new coordinator is Mike Cassidy from Illinois on Ron Turner's staff, and he's brought a new attitude here.
Cassidy took an Illinois team who was last in rushing in the conference to 4th in rushing in his first year in a Big Ten championship. We'll see what he can do with Louisville. They have yet to surrender a point in this game as Montrell Jones fair catches it at the 39. 37-yard punt by Anthony Thornton. Intrastate rivalry between Kentucky and Louisville. Only about 60 miles separates these two schools. Louisville led just by 7 points at halftime here at Papa John's Cardinal Stadium. The Cardinals have scored twice in the second half. Dave Pasch with Rod Gilmore, Trevor Manich, and Dave Ryan. Stephon LaForest has split time with true freshman quarterback Brian Brom. But Brom has not played in the second half, even though he led Louisville on its lone scoring drive of the first half. LaForest to throw. He can take his pick, and he's going for Russell, and it's underthrown. Incomplete, knocked away by Carl Booker. Russell was open, though.
Russell pushed Booker in the back. That very well could have been offensive pass interference. I think Louisville got away with one there.
Russell actually hasn't had the kind of day that we thought he could have, considering his skills and the advantage he has over the inexperienced corners for Kentucky. Kentucky using corners who were former wide receivers and still learning how to play the position.
But they've been close to him. There hasn't been as much room to throw in terms of tight coverage that LaForest expected.
Kentucky without a starter, Bo Smith, who started 7 games last year. He's out for the year with an injury, so they've had to use guys like Carl Booker, who was a wide receiver last year. Bush gets about 1.5 yards on the carry, so 3rd down and 8 for Louisville. There's Warren Wilson, a backup corner who's been banged up.
Dave, you can take wide receivers and make them cornerbacks because they typically have good footwork and good hips. They can change direction. They can use their quick feet. And if you can do that, you have a chance. You always worry about, though, the aggressiveness and the attitude. Is the guy passive or is he a tough guy?
3rd and 8. LaForce. And the pass is intercepted by Chet Anderson. And Anderson still on his feet. Finally down inside the 30-yard line.
Well, this is that tight coverage that we talked about. Safety Mike Williams does a great job with super tight coverage. That's what caused that ball to bounce up.
It's just a cover 2 situation. They're settling down, and then it's just a kind of a good hit after Russell started losing the ball. And that was a pretty well thrown ball. I think Russell didn't get his eyes and hands around for it quickly enough, and it started coming up. almost when he was being hit.
And Mike Williams was there. That's the key, though. You don't expect a safety to be able to have that tight of coverage against this high-powered an offense and receivers this fast.
First turnover of the day for Louisville. Kentucky has to score. Great opportunity for the Wildcat offense. Best field position of the day by far for the road team. First down from the 30. And Boyd finds a man at the 25-yard line. Caught by Jared Parker. Gain of about 5.
Number 25, Antoine Harris.
Antoine Harris on the stop for Louisville.
13 minutes to go in this ball game. I think this is 4 down territory. Here's Marcus Jones calling out signals, and he's just taking care of business down there in his three-point stance. That's not easy to do.
No, it's not. But he's the fastest D lineman. He covers a lot of ground from that three-point stance.
They've got the true freshman Tony Dixon in the backfield on 2nd down and 5. See the play clock winding down. And Boyd, he's got Burton just over his head. Burton could pull it in with one hand. Otherwise, it might have been a touchdown. A little bit too much on that pass.
That's a ball that needs to have more air underneath it. If the quarterback gives it a little bit more air, then the receiver can catch that ball. Boyd has a tendency to throw too many balls too hard, too much on a line. If he gives it some air, sort of like a lob in tennis, you'll give your guy a chance to make that catch.
Well, it's a different throwing motion, muscle memory between baseball and football. That's one of the reasons that he hasn't played baseball for a while, to make sure that the throwing motion doesn't get confused, and even so, he didn't hit that throw accurately.
To pass on 3rd down and 5, and he was going to get leveled by Chad Rimsey, so he just threw that one into traffic incomplete. 4th down and 5, and you'd think Kentucky would go for it here.
Yeah, I think, as I said a minute ago, with 13 minutes to go at this point in the field, they've got to get some points. They can't afford to kick for 3 or to punt this thing. They've got to go after it.
And at this point, their biggest playmaker, number 19, Keenan Burton. He's been quiet all game long. Let's see if they throw to him.
Might as well bring the house, right? Blitz him the way he's throwing the ball.
Absolutely.
4th and 5. They do blitz, and Boyd takes off. And he falls down past the marker for the first down, but there is a flag down in the backfield. Holding going to be called against Kentucky.
A veteran offensive line will know that if they get beat, they can push their man beyond and their quarterback still has a shot. But if you grab them, then the quarterback doesn't have a shot. It will come back.
Number 70 on the offense. 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, 3rd down.
Trevor, are officials looking more closely for holding in the offensive line on a play like that on 4th down and 5?
You know, I don't know that they're looking more closely, but they know that it's more likely to happen. You've got right here is Rollins, and his man goes by him. Well, no, you know something? I look at that play. I don't like that call. I think he tripped. I don't think Rollins grabbed and threw down. I think his man fell over somebody else's legs. It was Bobby LeFew.
Under pressure again is Boyd. Sacked. Abe Brown at the 45-yard line. 10-yard loss, and Louisville takes over. Louisville turns it over, but Kentucky ends up losing yardage. And the Cardinals get it back with a 3-touchdown lead.
That is sweet.
My pride and joy.
Oh, it looks new.
Like right out of the showroom.
Oh, that is one great looking...
Whoa, hold on, honey. I'm showing Tom the floor. Nice floor, Joan.
Make your garage floor the envy of the neighborhood. You can do it yourself with Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield Garage Floor Coating. After prep, you're ready to go. Simple as painting a wall. Easy to clean and resist chipping and peeling. This all-inclusive kit is available at home centers, hardware stores, and automotive retailers near you. And now, transform your unfinished basement with Epoxy Shield Basement Floor Coating.
There's an easier way to get a 6-month supply of clean, great-tasting water. Pure water filters. Bottled water quality, right from your faucet. Pure water filters. Your water should be pure.
From Philips comes the only flat TV with built-in ambient light technology, which changes color with whatever you're watching, so you are completely surrounded by the experience. A new Philips flat TV with Ambilight.
You know, some people don't think what we do is a sport. That's because you can't get hurt doing it. Otherwise, you have that insurance. What insurance? What? Come again? The one that pays you cash. If you're hurt and can't work. Which one?
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Ready, Captain.
Pedal.
Check.
Wheel.
Check.
Inflate movie.
Check.
Dad, do you know where you're going?
OnStar, can I help you?
Check.
No wonder we call it the Max. Chevy Malibu Max, an American revolution.
Louisville quarterback Stephon LaForce and his Cardinals a 21-0 lead on our rival Kentucky. Back in Louisville, joined by Joy LaForce, Stephon's wife. How difficult has it been for your husband to handle the ordeal, the competition with Brian Brom? How's he done with it?
I think he's handled himself really well. He's been really mature about it, and I think it shows a lot about his character and about how he handles things.
Has he demonstrated some leadership, do you think, with a player like Brom? I know he's impressed with his abilities. Is that the feeling you get from talking to your husband?
Oh, yes, definitely. He knows that Brom's going to be a great quarterback one day, but he knows that this is his senior year and this is his team.
This is such a big rivalry. I know you two are from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, but how much does it mean to Stephon to win this game against the arch rival Kentucky?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It means a lot to him. He was so excited about this game, and I think we're going to pull it off.
Stephon's parents are deaf, as is his brother. Would you like to sign somebody of those guys back home?
Sure, tell me. Hi, Miss Susan, Mr. Larry, Eric, and Junan. Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Dave. And normally Stephon's parents come to the game unless they're on television, so they're watching at home. And Stephon, really a great kid. The coaching staff says he's as good a guy as they've had there. As Bush gets it to the 35-yard line. Abdullah on the tackle. 14-yard pickup. First down for LaForce and company. Well, Kentucky fans, I think, have had enough. They're starting to leave. Maybe they want to get home and watch Reese and Trev and Mark, because they can get home in time to watch at least maybe even the end of this game.
Hey, they'll catch UNLV Tennessee coming up later as well. Yeah. A lot of red in this stadium tonight.
You guys talked about Bruce Snyder earlier, and he's now at UNLV with John Robinson. Knocked off Wisconsin early last year. We'll see if they can do it to Tennessee. Here's Colby Smith, the fullback, taking it inside the 20 to the 17-yard line. Actually, that's Gates again on the carry. My mistake. Huffman on the tackle.
This is typical Louisville football. The fourth quarter, their big backs start to get huge chunks of yardage because they've worn you down over the four quarters. It's hard to try and tackle 240, 250-pound backs for 3 hours.
And before you can even get to those backs, you've got to get through the offensive line. Will Rabatine, center, blocked Lamar Mills, number 45, and did a terrific job because Lamar Mills is an outstanding nose tackle. Rabatine blew open the hole in the middle.
Which back do you like the most for Louisville, guys?
I'd have to say Bush right now.
Movement on the offensive line. Well, college football's first weekend continues on ESPN tonight at 8 Eastern, as we talked about. UNLV and Tennessee coming up 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. All part of Labor Day weekend, presented by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield on ESPN. Offside against Sweet Pea Burns of Kentucky, so first down and 5 for Louisville.
Very curious to see how Tennessee bounces back from last season. Yeah, they're a running team, and they got away from that a bit last year, and I think they'll try to get back to what their bread and butter is. High formation, run the football.
Michael Bush not in the game. Gates the running back again, and he takes it to the 14-yard line, so he lost a yard of the play. Ellery Moore made the stop for Kentucky. Well, Louisville has a chance to get off to a great start before it takes on Miami, a former Big East school, now in the ACC.
Yeah, that's down there on October 14th. But I tell you, you got to like that one there. Louisville, September 11th at Army. How emotional and huge will that be?
Absolutely. And here's Bush inside the 10 to the 5 and about the 2-yard line. Louisville will be in the Big East Conference next year, and based on some of these scores involving Big East teams early in the college football season, the Cardinals will enter as one of the upper echelon teams in the Big East Conference. They're already thinking Big East. They had a block party here a week and a half ago. Louisville folks are wearing Big East Conference on their shirts. Rick Pitino even there. Man, the basketball conference in the Big East is going to be terrific.
Big East is becoming solid, more competitive. How about Rutgers and Greg Schiano's guys knocking off John L. Smith and Michigan State yesterday?
Rutgers, Connecticut, and West Virginia might be the 3 best teams. When is the last time you could say that about the Big East?
And you have to give Greg Schiano just an awful lot of credit. People said he couldn't turn Rutgers around, couldn't make it competitive there. He left Miami a few years ago as a coordinator, became the head coach there, and he is sewing up high schools in New Jersey, which is an issue for Louisville because they want to expand their recruiting into New Jersey. They'll be taking on Greg Schiano and Rutgers as well.
And the Big East being a BCS conference, it'll improve their recruiting because they can tell their recruits they'll have a shot at a national championship.
2nd down and goal from the 3. Toss to Bush. And he is met by Darrell White and thrown backwards. No gain on the play.
Well, you look at who's got the most wins against BCS teams since 2000. It's Louisville tied for first. And the good thing about that is that moving to the Big East and playing a full conference BCS schedule, they will not be awed or intimidated. They've been doing it without really having a legitimate shot at getting to the national championship game like they will when they are in the Big East. Now, they'll have to play well, but the road is open if they do.
Well, Forrest calls for time, so we'll take a break. 21-0. Louisville leads Kentucky midway through the 4th quarter.
Did you fill up the tank?
The new Silverado half-ton crew has more standard horsepower, more torque, and more towing capacity than Ford or Dodge.
It's never happened.
Chevy Silverado, an American revolution.
Get the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package featuring more than 150 extra games this season. To order, call your local cable company, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
For every boxing legend, there's a legendary fight. The ultimate challenge, the ultimate risk. For these two champions, this is the one. De La Hoya versus Hopkins for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. Saturday, September 18th, live on DirecTV pay-per-view. Don't miss De La Hoya versus Hopkins live on DirecTV pay-per-view channel 101. Only one can make history.
ESPN's College Football Sunday is presented by Rust-Oleum Epoxy Shield for the ultimate garage floor. And in part by the new Chevrolets. 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. An American revolution.
Louisville trying to beat Kentucky for the 5th time in the last 6 years. This intrastate rivalry favors the home team right now by 3 touchdowns. They're trying to make it a 4 TD game. And it's a handoff to Gates, who is very close to the goal line, but short. Abdullah makes the tackle for Kentucky.
He reached out with the hand, but the ball was in the other hand. When you go down here, he'll hit and try to stretch, but he puts his left hand out like, oh, got to know what hand your ball's in. And touchdown. No.
Well, we shouldn't be surprised. Louisville going for it on 4th down, and Gates is in for his 2nd touchdown of the day. Louisville slams the door shut on Kentucky with 7:24 to go in the 4th quarter as Gates gets into the end zone for the 2nd time in this game. Freshman Carmody on for the extra point. And it's 28-0 Louisville. We said earlier that we weren't surprised that Louisville went for it. And here's why.
Well, if you go back to last year, at the end of that game, up by 9 points, running out the clock, just pounding away. They go for it on a 4th down to keep a drive alive. Get inside the 5-yard line. Less than 10 seconds. No, they don't take a knee. Gates gets another touchdown to finish them off last year.
Well, hey, it's Kentucky, and Rich Brooks absolutely livid, and he's got that same look on the sideline right now, that same purse's lips, and I'll tell you this, he will remember, because he will have this sleeping giant Kentucky playing well. They will play this rivalry game, and I'll tell you what, he's comforting his players now, but he'll be celebrating with them down the road at some point. He has a long memory, this man.
You know, in rivalry games, you get the boot on the neck of the other team, and you don't take it off, do you, Dave?
No, no, you don't. And you look at the numbers there on that drive. It's not as if they're coming out and throwing the ball downfield. Kentucky just can't stop the run.
Right, and part of it's the feed the studs philosophy. You've got Eric Shelton, Lionel Gates, Michael Bush. You've got to get them touchdowns. You've got to keep these guys happy because you've got 3 guys that should each be a starter.
Well, Gates had 11 touchdowns last year. Shelton had 10. Bush had 6. Gates has 2 in this game. On the return is freshman John Logan. His uncle was an excellent running back. Kentucky played in the NFL. There are the studs for Louisville at running back. The triple threat of Shelton, Gates, and Bush. And interested to see when we come back here, this group will be back here for Louisville and South Florida, where Louisville is as a football team, because they will have already played Miami at that point.
You remember the Pony Express backfield way back in the day with Eric Dickerson and Craig James? They thought that one backfield wasn't big enough for the 2 of them. They've got 3 of them here at Louisville.
But a tough day for Kentucky quarterback Shane Boyd. His first start, obviously, of this year. Really his first significant playing time at quarterback since 2001 when he beat out Jared Lorenzen. That one should have been caught. He's 3 of 11 from the floor, or from the through the air, and DeWalt had that one go through his hands, incomplete. Well, tonight 2 teams hoping for a spot in Major League Baseball's postseason meet. Vizquel and Martinez and the rest of the Indians take on Guerrero and the Angels. 8 Eastern on ESPN2. Coverage begins with baseball tonight, driven by GMC on ESPN at 7 Eastern. It's also available in Spanish on ESPN Deportes. Call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today. I had a Freudian slip on the basketball there, a 3 for 11 from the floor. It's just turning into a pretty good football rivalry, even though Louisville is going to go on to win for the 5th time in 6 games. Kentucky will be back. I think Rich Brooks, once he gets a full set of scholarships, will be able to turn this thing around.
Well, how much, though, of pouring on the score is the bit of Bobby Petrino endearing himself to the fans of Louisville again after everything that he's been through with them and the whole Auburn situation.
Last year flirted with Auburn, or Auburn flirted with him, depending on who you talk to, even though Tommy Tuberville had a job down there. That was 1 year after John L. Smith literally accepted the head coaching job at Michigan State at halftime of Louisville's bowl game. I think the players were starting to wonder, was it them? But Petrino signed an extension, and he told us that he is here to stay at Louisville. Glenn Holt wide open down the field. And finally tackled at the 42-yard line. Kerry Rhodes hit him first. Dominic Dunbar cleans him up. 33-yard pickup.
Well, we talked about Boyd throwing the ball too hard. Not this time. He gives it air. He gives his receiver a chance to make a play. Look at that. He had him wide open, floated the ball into him. That's a nice job. And Dave, your point on Petrino is an excellent one. And remember, he's been trying to repair that damage done by the flirtation with Auburn.
A good throw by Boyd. And what a tackle by McCune as he takes down Davis. He certainly looks the part. Look at those guns on Robert McCune, 12th tackle of the game.
Well, Petrino enjoys coaching people like this. He's going to enjoy coaching Brian Brome for the next 3 years after this year. But he's really done a lot to help endear himself here. He's donated $100,000 of his own money to the Cardinals indoor facility. Joe Paterno's done that. Bobby Knight has done that, but I can't think of any other coaches that really have. And he wants to let the community know that he's not going anywhere. He wants to stay here.
Well, I think Dave's
Number
point
61,
is a well-taken
on
one.
the offense, 5 yards, 1st and 15.
When you talk about the flirtation and trying to endure himself here and the things that he's done, but also Brian Brome, that means a lot too, because there's the sense that he's made a commitment to Brian Brome to getting him ready for the NFL, and that means he's going to stick around here for a bit, even if suitors come calling.
As his brother here, Paul, who's the offensive coordinator. As Boyd has time to throw, but everybody's covered downfield. Now somebody gets open, and the catch is made by Jared Parker inside the 25. Maybe we're seeing the maturation, even though he is a senior, he hasn't played a whole lot, of quarterback Shane Boyd.
Absolutely right on the money. We've seen 2 throws by him back-to-back that are better than any throws he's made all game. He's giving his receivers a chance. Now, that might not help them win this ball game, but it will help Kentucky down the line this year.
Yes, and you're also seeing the maturation of that young offensive line. That was tremendous one-on-one protection that allowed Boyd to do his thing.
6-minute mark in the 4th quarter. Boyd being pressured from behind. Shows his arm strength as he throws back across his body and finds Holt for about an 8-yard pickup.
They're going to coach him out of that one. He'll stop throwing back across his body. But the play before, this is a beautiful throw. He's been throwing everything so hard, but 2 times in a row, he takes something off and floats it to the receiver to give him a chance.
Boyd again to the air on 2nd and 2. That pass a little bit wide of Parker, the intended receiver, so it's 3rd down and 2. Jacob Tammy, actually, the intended receiver on that throw.
Dave, you mentioned the scholarship problem at Kentucky since they've been on probation since the Hal Mummy era a few years ago. They've lost scholarships the last few years. They've only given out 39 scholarships the last 2 years. Most schools can give out 25 a year. That's up to 50. They're going back to normal next year, so they've got a chance to build their classes up.
73 scholarships this year for Rich Brooks. See what Boyd does here on 3rd down and 2. It's an option. And Boyd is in trouble. Down he goes to the 21. Chad Rimsey on the tackle. 7-yard loss, and Kentucky will go on 4th down and 9. Here comes the blitz. Boyd gets it away. It's caught, but incomplete. Out of play. Burton could not get his foot down. Robert McCune came flying up the middle, and it's an incompletion.
Now notice there's a difference between the NFL. In the NFL, if the receiver is carried or pushed out of bounds, that might be complete. In college football, you have to get a foot down, and I thought maybe Burton was close to getting the foot down.
The foot may have hit the foot of the defender, which would have been in play.
Will Bill Callahan's West Coast offense resurrect the Cornhuskers?
Does a condor rise from his own ashes?
Do you mean a phoenix?
ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
One of the game's greatest players has engaged in a variety of acts which have stained the game.
You sure you want to do this?
Just place the bets, Paul. No player, no matter how exalted, is above the game.
Despite genetic similarities, siblings often harbor tension between each other. This can result in provocation against the older counterpart. But these are merely attempts to discover his place in the family. Cobalt, the new commotion, coming to the Chevy family.
Big breakfast burritos. Sonic's got them, others don't. Start your day right with Sonic's hearty new steak, egg, and cheese burrito. Steak, eggs, diced onions, tater tots, and melted cheese, all wrapped in a big flour tortilla. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Sorry, I was driving too fast.
No, my fault.
You must be gelling. Like Magellan.
Dr. Scholl's massaging gel insoles are so soft, they make any shoe feel outrageously comfortable. Are you gelling? Dr. Scholl's.
28-0 Louisville. Let's look and see if Keenan Burton got his toe down before he went out of bounds. It was ruled incomplete.
Watch his right foot as it comes up in the air. Now he's going to make the catch. And let's see if that hits the ground right there. And then you can see the black rubber from under that turf kick up. It looked like he was in bounds.
I was going to argue with you. I was saying that during the break, and you said he was out of bounds. Now you're convinced that he is in bounns.
Well, that's because I was looking at the defender's foot. The defender was out of bounds, but the defender wasn't catching the ball.
Yeah, you know, remember Dave Ryan showed us early in the ball game that there's a lot of rubber under there, and when that stuff kicks up, you know where the foot was.
Just like that. We see his hand right there. That is black, ground up rubber, and it kicks up like dust.
So in the Big Ten, would that have been reviewable?
Absolutely.
Depends on how good your TiVo is, I guess. Catch made out of the 26-yard line. There are a couple of reviews. Roger Clark on the catch as Brian Braum threw the pass, but we saw a couple of reviews in the first half of that Wisconsin game yesterday on ESPN. One of those was questionable. Louisville with 190 rushing yards in this game, just 66 for Kentucky. Louisville doubling up the Wildcats in total yards, but the turnover is huge in this game. One of those turns returned for a touch. Another running play. And Colby Smith cuts it back and goes down to the 45. And an 18-yard pickup for Colby Smith, the fourth tailback / fullback on this Louisville team, and he's not bad either.
And this is about as close as you can get if you're Petrino to pulling out the stops. You got your freshman quarterback in there. You got your fourth-string running back, because the first three are all three Division I caliber, maybe NFL caliber. And now Smith comes in and rips off a big run. I don't know what you can do if you're Petrino to back off anymore at this point.
No, he's called the dogs off. He's got some youngsters in there. It's up to Kentucky to tackle and stop him right now.
The true freshman Brian Braum at a quarterback led Louisville down for the, I guess what you'd call the game-winning drive in the first half, as Bush takes it off the edge to the 42-yard line of Kentucky. 13-yard pickup for Michael Bush, former Mr. Football in Kentucky, top safety in high school a couple of years ago.
Now these are basic running plays that Kentucky ought to be loaded up for, and they ought to be trying to handle. This is not a situation, again, where it looks like Bobby Petrino is trying to run up the score. You can make the argument, I think, of Goodwin that they ran it up last year, but I don't think it's happening right now.
No, and you've got all their running backs are talented, but also fresh. When you've got three starting caliber backs that you can rotate through, at this point, they're much fresher than the defense can possibly be.
Another running play. It's Gates this time. How about those moves? To the 10, and finally taken on a play inside the 8-yard line.
You just have to look at how far Gates went before he even had to make a move. Guys aren't getting off blocks. Guys aren't after the running back, Gates, trying to tackle.
And that's a function of being exhausted. When you look at what you just said, he's going to go all the way back to the left, and nobody is around him. The reason is they're slow in pursuit, They've been trying to chase and tackle these 240-pound backs all game long, and at this point, Kentucky's defense has had it.
34 yards on that rush, and 110 yards on the day for Gates. Shelton into the game, and this time he gets taken down to the line of scrimmage. Ellery Moore, starting left defensive end, makes the tackle.
Mike Petrino just threw him a bone. He just ran it right up the middle on a simple zone play. Said, look, you guys, tackle him, please. I don't want to look bad.
8.5 yards per carry for Lionel Gates. Remember, last year Louisville led the country in yards per rush at 5.7.
I think Bobby Petrino, looking back on last year, thought that there were two mistakes he made. One, the flirtation with Auburn, and then the second one, running up the score last year. I don't think you'll see a timeout called down here this time to get a score. If they do it, it's just poor tackling on Kentucky's part.
Interested to see how Louisville's defense performs as the competition gets a little bit tougher as Shelton drags a defender inside the 3. Remember, last year they lost 3 of their last 5 games.
Yeah, they did, and they looked bad, but bringing in defensive coordinator Mike Cassidy from Illinois was huge. Kentucky's offense is struggling now because of certain things we've talked about this game, but even in fall camp in the scrimmages against Louisville's own high-powered offense, Louisville's defense has looked sharp, and they've disrupted Stephon LaFour's and this Louisville offense as well. So I think it's not just a function of playing Kentucky at this time of year. I think that defense is looking to be possibly very, very good.
The fans are calling for a touchdown. They want more.
The answer to that? Have a slice of pizza, fans. We've got enough.
Hand off, and inside the 3-yard line goes Gates, maybe to the 2. Do they go on 4th down and goal?
Now the fans, they want the touchdown. Now I think here Bobby Petrino is not going to do that. After last year, I don't see him going for it this time.
I think he is. I think he's going.
He's tempted, though. If he does it, this is bad news.
You can see the wheels turning.
Oh, he's
tempted. You can see the wheels turning. No, don't do it, Bobby. Yeah. Don't do it, Bobby.
Come on, back off, Bobby.
That's 3 consecutive runs right up the middle, and if they go for it here, they'll probably just give it up the middle again and say, okay, Kentucky, stop us if you can. If they run this outside, no, they're going to victory formation. That's
yeah,
the right
good
call.
job, Bobby.
We're plotting up here. That's the right call.
The fans don't like it. How do you boo? You just won 28-0 over your intrastate rival.
You know, that's almost more embarrassing than not. You know, we could score, but we're going to throw you a bone. It's the right call, but if you're Kentucky, you can't win either way.
Classy move by Bobby Petrino.
Tom Jurek, the athletic director, embracing the man he hired, Bobby Petrino, a couple of years ago, and the man he almost lost last year and then gave an extension to. Understandably, all smiles here today.
Yeah, that was the right move by Petrino. If you're Kentucky, I don't think you can win. I think if he pulls it off, or if he goes for it, it's about equal on that side of the ball. But from Petrino's standpoint, especially given the history of this rivalry, going back to John L. Smith, especially, that was the right move.
Is Louisville as good on offense as you guys thought coming into this game? Can they be one of the top offenses in college football?
I think they have the potential. I think they're out of sync right now, and not quite there. It's going to take them a while to work it in.
On the final play, the pass is caught out to the 34-yard line by Scott Mitchell, and that ends the game. Now, actually 1 second left, so they get to run one more play as they stop the clock to move the chains.
But this offense, Dave, if it comes together and they surprise Miami, look out. The only big game they have left after that would be Memphis. They could be a surprise team.
Louisville does have the opportunity to run the table if they can get by Miami.
DeWalt gets sandwiched at the 41-yard line, and that's it. Stephon LaFour's and Brian Brown team up to get the win for Louisville. Rich Brooks makes his way towards Bobby Petrino. They seek each other out for the handshake. And Louisville wins it by a final score of 28-0. Bobby Petrino and the Louisville Cardinals with a terrific performance on both ends, offense and defense. Coming up next, College Game Day Scoreboard. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, go to ESPN.com. For Rod, Trevor, and Dave Pash saying so long from Louisville.